What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode, a live stream from Chicago Bulls Central. We are going to have fun tonight. Well, hopefully, we'll see who all joins. I know it's like a random Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we'll see. But wanted to talk about more than just the Bulls tonight. We're talking about this outbreak that's happening in the NBA overall. So we're just gonna wait, see who else happens to join and whatnot, see what goes on there. But yeah, it's so the Bulls were clearly the first team is going to be dealing with some shit over the course of this season because Lord, it went from like 40 something players in the NBA had been diagnosed over the course of the season to now we're at like 41 in just the last 2 weeks. Um, it's really crazy to see how the NBA is going to what they've been going through and how COVID's been going through these teams and the outbreaks are happening or whatever. But um, just wonder if the league is um considering postponing, if those internal conversations have started happening yet. The only reason I say that is because I mean you're looking at more than just players being exposed. You're looking at everyone in the stadium workers, the refs, the staff, and then their families as well. If they have any elderly family members they're taking care of or anything like that. So yeah, this outbreak happening, especially in the way that it happened, and that is going down is just it's really crazy. It's just really crazy to see that's what's happening right now. We're over 2 years into this pandemic, and the NBA. I understand why they wanted to get back to um why they wanted to get back to an 82 game season as quick as possible. They missed so much money in that year that they had to shut down and then restart the season in the bubble, and then last year having less games than they normally do. And I understand that whole aspect of things, but what we're seeing right now is that it's just man, if this COVID thing is just spreading from team to team. King Austin, seems like we're going to go through what we went through in March 2020, to be honest. I mean, the difference is there in March 2020, there was an outbreak worldwide, right? So it wasn't just the NBA, it was everywhere. And now it's like the NBA players are just being hit so bad. And then one of the things that came out came out is that Vooch did have symptoms, right? For a while there, it was like somebody said the players weren't really having symptoms, but Vooch said he did have symptoms. There was another player who said that they're actually having like cardiovascular things that are going on since they were out with NBA health and safety. So it's really getting ugly there. Really, really getting ugly there. Let's go on. Been looking forward to this all day. Always great talking Bulls with everyone here. Thanks, Cap. I appreciate that, man. I always look forward to this. Smear 60. Do you have anything other than trade? Like, do you watch basketball? Because it's just this is like 2K talk. No, I didn't say that. I said that that's not going to happen. That's not going to be enough to get you in the door. That's not going to be enough to get that conversation to happen at all. That's not. Period. And then even if it was, no, I wouldn't do. I'm not trading Pat Williams. This front office isn't trading Pat Williams more importantly than that. With what they think. So no, it's not, that trade isn't happening. Every league is going to outbreak, but the Bulls are in a good situation because their whole team got it early season. Other teams are getting well. The thing is that regardless of when it happens or when it happens to the Bulls, if this keeps happening, the league goes to a shutdown or goes to anything else, it almost doesn't matter when the Bulls got it. That's the more concerning thing here at this point. It's not necessarily who had it when or how early people had it. It's more about the fact that, if this continues, does the NBA consider shutting down or at least shutting down for a little while and figuring out a different thing? I read something today that maybe going back to 50% stadium capacity. Now that I don't see happening. I don't see 50% stadium capacity happening because most of those tickets are already sold. What are you going to do? You're going to pay those people back for the tickets? That's a lot of tracking to do. So, and then who do you determine who gets to keep their tickets? That will make a lot of people upset. So, as of right now, 63 players have entered NBA health and safety protocol this season, and just 47 of those has happened just in December. We're only 16 days through the month. 47 players going in NBA health and safety. Wild, man. Wild. It seems like every country's cases are steadily increasing. Things may start shutting down again. That's the biggest concern here. That is the biggest concern here, is that if that, not just like NBA wide, like how everything's going. Everything is getting really out of the hands, man. Kind of weird how Lakers have been so healthy when it comes to COVID. I mean, THT's out now. LeBron did have it. He tested out though. But yeah. Okay, good. And no, I don't talk about trades. I was listening to your last live stream. We'll take a finals. I was not here live when the stream took place. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's. I'm glad you're catching up on the live streams. I'm glad. Like I'm gonna start posting the live streams on the podcast feed too. I haven't been doing that. So if you ever do want to just listen in, you can have the podcast feed if you don't want to watch the audio version of it. So definitely. I'll be watching all the games. So I believe I was just throwing some shit your way because I know we talked trades before. That's it, bro. It wasn't serious. Like that crazy. Okay, man. Listen here, that shit was wild. You think they try to push through to Christmas and see what I think so. I think they're going to try to get through those Christmas games, and then they're probably already having conversations, right? It's not like they're just going to have a conversation then the next day cancel it. Well, they may, but the NBA execs are probably already talking and preparing for like different scenarios of what may happen, because they may try to ride it out and see how this outbreak, if it calms down after this sudden surge of it, and then it kind of normalizes, because you got to think at one point, once most players have had it, right? Like I know you can catch COVID again, right? I'm not saying that you can't have it twice. I know somebody personally who's had it twice. But you I guess they may wait and see like how big this surge gets, and then how it calms down, or if they see any more spikes for a little while after that. I'm sure they should be paying people a lot smarter than my ass to be figuring that out. They got them let it pray, bro. COVID is here to stay. I want to watch basketball. Many are saying let them play. Millions have COVID. Play. Well, it's not just that simple, bro. And I get what you're saying, but just to say let them play, like I said, you're potentially exposing not just the players, everyone to it, and their families to it. So because of that, they have a diligence to try to mitigate that as much as they can. That's just plain out. They do have that they have to try to mitigate it as much as they can at an event that's not necessary, right? Yes, millions have COVID. People are going to contract COVID in their day-to-day lives, but basketball isn't a necessity. And because of that, they do have to try to do what they can to try to make this situation as best they can for the people around them. Cap, they should have canceled last week's games, and then had everybody healthy for Christmas. Yeah, I mean, honestly, and the thing is that, so it came out too that the Chicago Bulls were being tested at a different rate than the rest of the NBA. But like I said before, and I've said this before in videos, and the thing that made it quite confusing for me, is the fact that once the Bulls had 3 players out, it was going to be an outbreak. You knew that. Then after that Charlotte game, when Charlotte players then came down, like came down with it, then you have an outbreak, regardless of how many people it was. That is an outbreak when you look at it. Then when you add to that, how many players did they come into contact with, other teams that they played? This was bound to happen, and especially when everyone's not being tested every day, people are asymptomatic. Or NBA players are because they're not being tested, they're playing through it. That the outbreak was bound to happen, and that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. Let's go back. I want to see if I missed anything. Lakers currently have 5 players in COVID protocol. Do you think the Bulls Laker game should still happen? And do you will happen? And do you think it should happen? I do expect that game to get postponed. I really do expect. I think we'll get an announcement tomorrow that game is going to be postponed. That's my personal feeling on it. It may not be true, but I do expect that we're going to get that game canceled tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Let's give props to the Nets, man. KD basically single-handedly just took out a healthy Philly team. Nets have 9 active players right now. Tonight, Blake Griffin has this was the second highest score. Crazy, man. KD is fucking crazy. KD is amazing. Locked on Bulls had a great suggestion of shutting down games till Christmas to allow things to calm down and still have the big Christmas payday. I mean, as of right now, shutting it down till Christmas. Christmas is what, 9 days away? I mean, yeah. Potentially. I mean, but like someone said earlier in the stream, like doing it 2 weeks ago, having a shutdown for 2 weeks and then gearing up for Christmas would have probably been idea early on. But hey, it is what it is. But we're vaccinated. All right, JDH. Who do you think starts in place of Alex Caruso? I think at this point we know if the starter's going to be out, almost regardless of the position, Alex Caruso is coming into the starting lineup. Especially when you look at Javonte Green's back, right? So we have him back at starting forward. We have Vooch is still there, Alonzo's still there. It's going to be Alex Caruso and DeMar DeRozan to round that out. DeMar should be back as well. So that's what I think is going to happen. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Io there, but I do think they're going to start Caruso, especially now with the news that either way, they're expecting Zach to miss the next 3 games, which is, I think that's well past the 10-day mark. So I don't know if something's going on there. We just haven't heard about it. But yeah, I expect Alex Caruso to go into that starting lineup. I work at a middle school. One of my students is a Cavs fan. Today was not pleasant. Hey, listen, I live in Ohio, and it's it's not pleasant a lot. Need to wear masks, and I feel they don't be wearing masks. I mean, that is a conference. Well, the thing is, they are in such close contact with just playing defense anyway. But I know for my son's high school team last year, not this year, but my school's high school basketball team, they made them wear masks while playing. Is that something the league looks at? The more people that get COVID, the more the hospitals fill. Once the hospital fills up, very bad things will happen. Well, we saw that, right? We saw that at the onset of this, so we know what that's going to be like. Let's have some trade talk again. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Samir 60, this new variant is brutal. I live in Chicago. My sister is vaccinated and just got COVID. You can still be vaccinated. Yeah, and that's the scary thing about it, right? And that raises the questions again. I'm not an anti-vaxxer by any stretch of the imagination, but for the people that are and that you think like their concern is, hey, I could still get this virus anyway, rather than put something in my body, let me continue to try to safeguard myself the best way I can without introducing something foreign to my body. So I understand that. Like I said, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm vaxxed. I'm probably going to get my booster here in the next couple of weeks. But I do understand the people who are hesitant to get the vaccination. I absolutely do. What would your reaction be if Alex Caruso shuts down LeBron James or makes him have a bad game? Hey, where the shit has happened, to be quite frank. We're gonna tap the Lakers' ass again with or without Levine. Hey, we definitely should see that. You seen DeMar Instagram story? It's a picture of a battery fully charged. Yep, DeMar's ready. DeMar's gonna go. He's gonna be ready, and we know how versatile this team is. Like that, we know how versatile it is. You have a son that's in high school. That's shocking. You don't even look that old. I'm 35 years old. My oldest son is 15. He'll be 16 in April. So yeah, I thank you for that, first of all. But yeah, I'm old. I am old. Y'all see tomorrow? Yep, we just talked about that. Do you think that maybe putting Kobe in the starting lineup instead of Caruso will be better? You need AC's playmaking and facilitating more with the second unit. Than well, the one thing is that in the games that Alex Caruso was forced to start, he played damn near 40 minutes. So Billy Donovan has no qualms about playing any of the players along a lot amount of time. What I do think though is Alex Caruso is needed. Period on this team. Period. Will they start Kobe? They have started Kobe before when DeMar was out, so there is a chance of that. Um, like I said, there's a chance of starting IO as well. There's a chance of a lot of different players starting. I mean, there's a chance you move DeMar to the 2, you bring in Derrick Jones Jr. to start the 3, or Javonte to start the 3, and you start Derrick Jones Jr. There's a lot of different variations that Billy Donovan can use. I guess it just remains to be seen what that's going to be. So She'll be fine, JDH. Thank you for your concern. Oh man, yeah. Shout out to your sister's. Prayers up to your sisters. Hopefully, she has a speedy recovery, bro, and she is as symptomless as possible. For sure, for sure, for sure. It's only Zach that's going to be out for the. That's the way it seems, right? So everybody else, their 10-day mark is going to be up by the time we were supposed to play the Lakers on Sunday, except Zach LaVine and Troy Brown Jr. I don't ever count Troy Brown Jr. because he's been such a non-factor for the most part of the season. He has put together some solid stretches and games, um, but yeah, I think we should have everyone back but Troy Brown Jr. and Zach LaVine. And that's if nothing else comes out, right? Because the NBA may have not been testing the Bulls. Considering that they postponed their 2 games, they may test them tomorrow so they can get those results back Saturday, or they may even test them Saturday morning so you get the results back Sunday. And then you never know. I don't want to like jinx anything, but keep a lookout for that. Keep a lookout for that. All right, let's get into some. I'll let the chat build back up. I think it caught up with most of the comments, but so I've been talking heavily about Zach LaVine's potential for Supermax, right? I've talked about will he qualify. I've then talked about his stats and his growth so far from last season to this season. But I want to ask you guys, if Zach LaVine does qualify for the Supermax, do you think the Bulls offer? Do you think they should offer the Supermax? Do you think they should try to convince him to sign less so we have a little bit more financial flexibility? The reason why I'm presenting this question is that I know a lot of people are talking about trades, and we know other channels do trade bait videos or wherever else, but it really is going to limit this team. Again, I know that we've had this thing so long that the ownership has said they will pay the luxury tax for a championship team. Again, that's really hard to quantify now in today's NBA unless you have like 3 superstars on your team. So with that being said, if we still have that artificial limitation of the luxury tax and not going into that, then if they do sign him for a supermax, all this trade talk of bringing in players that make 18-20 million dollars in some cases needs to stop, because literally all they're going to be able to fill out the roster with at that point is veteran minimums. When you look at like the Bulls, until Vooch's contract comes up, Derrick Jones Jr. contract comes up as well, which we may re-sign those guys, or one of them for probably less money, but again, that really does change the Bulls' financial flexibility and how they operate. Again, AK and Eversley are very intelligent. They're very creative in the way that they work the cap. But what do you think? So let's say Zach LaVine does make an all NBA team. He qualifies for the Supermax. Do you think the Bulls should blindly offer him that? Do you think they should stay at the max? Do you think they should? I don't know how it works if you can offer something in between the max and the Supermax, or it has to be an all-in thing. But what do you think the Bulls do in that case? Let me know what you guys think about that. DeMar's getting old. No offense. We need come on. No offense from DeMar. First, okay, this is the thing that I will talk about while you letting you guys build up. But the thing with DeMar's game is, even when he gets up, the game that DeMar plays right now is not a lot based on athleticism. He's not jumping out of the gym like he used to. It's mid-range, back to the basket, some post moves, that spin move he does. He can do that forever. So yes, he'll probably take a decline, but he's not going to be too old to where he can't score with the way that he scores now and how intelligently he scores. I don't see that. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Don't be surprised if Anthony Davis can't play on Sunday, because I know some more Lakers are going to be placed in health and safety. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more too. Like I said, I don't think they're testing the Bulls right now every day like they were. Do you guys think our guys are stay ready at home, watching tape and working? Oh yeah, come on, man. We got a team that is smart and do. I wouldn't be like, this is their chance. And also Billy Donovan to work out some kinks with the offense. Maybe figure out a way to beat the zone when they get thrown in there. So yeah, I think they do. Next season is Zach is going to come in with a full bag and a lot of motivation to win, for sure, for sure, for sure. I think as long as we're winning, which we seem to be, he will take less. A lot less, hell no, but he understands the business aspect of things and he wants to win. He may take less to win, more. You know what I'm? Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from, and that's what you hope, right? When you look at like teams that are players that are willing to sacrifice to actually win a championship, so they sometimes they take less, and that will be telling about Zach. Like I know people have taken the "I want my respect" with his next deal and stuff out of context and things like that, but Zach does seem to be a player that wants to truly win. That doesn't mean that he's gonna, like you said, he's not gonna be taking 70% off the 100% max that he can get. But if he does structure his deal in a way, it could definitely be beneficial to the team for sure. For sure. The Supermax takes up so much cap room, man. He'd have to take us to at least the Eastern Conference Finals for me to see it as justified. I can understand that. And here's the thing that I'm going to present to you guys in the chat. Has there been, because as far as I remember, it's like everybody who signed the Supermax, I feel like has eventually either gotten traded or left their team, and they didn't. Has anybody who qualified for the Supermax even won a title yet? Let me know about that down below. I'm going to try not to look it up while I'm hosting the show, but let me know what you guys think about that, or what you find out there. Has there been a player who has signed? Well, Giannis, right? Or did Giannis just sign the Supermax contract? Okay, Giannis probably just off the top of my head, but let me know. Nah, man, I feel like the farther we go, the more he'll take less money. If we lose, the main thing keeping Zach here will be money. I can understand that mindset. Lakers sign. Listen, Isaiah Thomas going off in the G League. Like I don't even know that people should have known that he's going to have that ability to score in the G League. Like at all, like look at what he did being in the NBA. Like he's going to have the ability to score. I really don't understand why a team that's a contender needs a scorer off the bench hasn't looked at IT before now. Like, and don't get me wrong, he's not gonna average anything close to that number, right? Even the way and the efficiency in which IT scores, even if he's only down to 70% of that, right? 65 to 70% of that, that's still a great bench score in the NBA. So, because of that, I'm really surprised Isaiah Thomas has not got a deal before now, and they only signed him to a 10-day contract. So, we'll see how much he gets to play over that 10-day contract. But people know Isaiah can put the ball in the basket. Like that's not or we're not questioning that, right? We're not questioning that. DeMar gives people that old man back to the basket. You can't stop me fundamental game. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very suspect that of all the players to get COVID, only you kill me when you call him that was the only one to get out of it right away. I mean, that's the shit. Giannis, yeah, like I said, it came to me afterwards. I had to think about it, but I really do think Giannis is the only player to sign a supermax and win a title. And that's a different situation for him because most of those pieces that they had were already on the team. There, Bobby Portis came last year. But yeah, that's just it's crazy to think, right? That the NBA created this supermax contract for players that play so well to get more money, and that hasn't translated to any more title wins for any of them. So, except Giannis, except Giannis. Do. Durant, I don't think he won a title after he signed the Supermax. Think about it. You can't sign a Supermax when you move to a new team. So he moved to the Warriors. He didn't re-sign a new contract while he was on the Warriors, unless I'm mistaken. And yeah, no, I don't think Kevin Durant did sign a Supermax. Let's see. 9 players. Let's see who's currently on Supermax deals. Steph Curry is on the Supermax. Dame Lillard's on the Supermax. Giannis is on the Supermax. Is that it? No, that can't be it. That can't be it. All right, this is why I don't like researching while I'm in the middle of a stream. Because everything is not coming up on this website that I went to. Because it said nine players are currently on the Supermax, but they only listed 3 so far. Anyway, I don't know if Kevin Durant actually was on the Supermax when he won the title, but somebody fact check that for me. Tell me if I'm wrong there. Again, their Supermax I think came afterwards. after I think, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong on that. Ayton made the finals and played amazing, and they didn't offer the max. Again, that's a different situation. Like he wasn't the key thing, and I honestly don't even think Ayton. If the right deal came along, I think they'll trade Ayton, no questions asked. Not to say that he's a bad player or anything, but it's not the same as Zach LaVine and what he means to the team. But yeah, Cat is super max, but he has no chance in hell of winning a playoff series, let alone the title. Come on, man. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. John Wall, yeah, John Wall definitely like it. Motherfucker signed the Supermax and went out. So, um, yeah. All right, but yeah, so that's it on that as far as the Supermax conversation. But you know, the one thing that I think of is that it's all going to work out. Really, when you look at it and when you look at how this team is conducting themselves, and this is what leads me like people who still like wonder if Zach LaVine's going to resign or not. I really, and this could come back to bite me in my ass, but I'm not at the place now where I'm worried at all about the team re-signing Zach LaVine. It's just what that number is going to be. What that number is going to be. That's my personal opinion. I think Minnesota and Portland should pull the plug, man. Just restart. Let those players have a chance to win. I mean, but especially with Minnesota, they have such young. Their players are still young. Cat is still young, right? Um, that you may not want to pull the plug and to go into a full rebuild yet. Portland, again, the only way that I can see them going into a full rebuild is if they trade Dame. And by everything that's been talked about, Dame doesn't want to leave. They don't plan on trading Dame. So I don't think that they go into that. All right, listen. I'm gonna say this I'm gonna say this real quick, and this isn't to be an asshole. I know I can go into Petty Roosevelt. I'm not doing that here. I'm gonna put this comment up. Leonard, stop leaving this same goddamn comment on everything. You do it on the live streams, you've done it on pre-recorded videos. We got you. You're a Bulls fan. Now, join in the actual conversation. We got you. We acknowledge you now. You're a Bulls fan. We got you. Jump in the conversation, my brother. Chris Paul says Ayton would get paid heavy shots fired. We'll see. Should Zach talk a regular max so we can win a chip? I mean, again, it's not that they can't still build a championship team with the Supermax. I'm just saying that it's definitely going to be more difficult to see what happens. The Bulls, honestly, even if they were a team that felt comfortable or that has historically gone into the luxury tax, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. The only reason that the Supermax would harp in the Bulls more than other teams is because the Bulls have always been hesitant to go into the luxury tax. When you look at it, right, you even the way that they've structured the deals that they have now, it's really to avoid the luxury tax. DeMar, 3-year deal. Alex Caruso's deal. All these players' deal is to avoid because they knew or they're preparing for Zach LaVine's contract, and then you got Patrick Williams' extension probably coming up in a couple of years. We'll see what happens with Kobe. If Kobe still keeps playing like this, they're definitely not going to extend him. We've already talked heavily on this channel about what it would take to re-sign IO. Derrick Jones Jr. if he's somebody they end up wanting to keep. But because of that, like it hurts the Bulls a little bit more. If this was a franchise like the Lakers, if this was a franchise like the most other NBA franchises that don't hesitate to go, hell, there are teams that go into the luxury tax for losing teams. The Bulls are the only team that, like, even for a winning team, don't go into the luxury tax. So it makes it a little bit even more scary for that. So yeah, I really Josh Simmons. I really don't see Dame playing anywhere else. That man, yeah, exactly. I mean, where do things have happened, right? Tony Parker did leave the Spurs. So, and that was something I never thought would happen. So yeah. Minnesota is making good progress this year. I give it 1 or 2 more years to see how Ant develops. He really looks amazing. Portland, on the other hand, yeah, they should. Again, we'll see. We'll see with that. We'll see with that. We'll see with that. I thought you were gonna go off with me about the Portland take. I was like, damn, my bad. No. I mean, I understand why you would say that, right? Because it looks like the reason why Portland, to me, right? This is my opinion. You guys may disagree with this. The reason why Portland hasn't been able to get over that hump is them sticking with Dame and CJ. If they would have made a move to move CJ earlier, to bring in more pieces, they probably would have a championship team now. That doesn't mean they'll necessarily win because of how the playoffs work out or whatever. And don't get me wrong, Dame and CJ have been a potent and great backcourt for a long time. But again, their size was always gonna be an issue. And having two players like that who demand contracts like that is always going to be they not to say that CJ's easy to replace, but with the scoring ability Dame Lillard has, they could have brought in a more solid defender in that position at to be next to Dame and someone who can still have some scoring ability. And they could have got a lot back for CJ McCollum at some point, a lot back. So yeah. Do you think Cat's situation is more team, or is he just not that guy? I don't think Cat is the number one guy, and that's fine, right? That's fine. If you put Cat on a team where he's possibly like, for example, and this is again, please don't start going with trades. Please don't do that. But I think if you put Cat in a situation like on our team where he would be the third, right? I think Cat would excel in a case like that. I think he would excel possibly as a two. But Cat is just not a player that you can build. Like you can build a championship team around, and that's not a knock on him. There's only a handful of players that you can say this guy is a guy that you can build a championship team around, just around what he can do. There's not only a handful of players that can do that, and I think they thought Cat was going to develop that way. And for a while, it looked like it may trend that way. It just didn't work out. It didn't work out that way. Hayes, on the last stream, you said you have a contempt for Packer fans. I wanted to say my dad was a lifelong Bears fans, but once they lost the Super Bowl in '07, God damn, he switched to the Packers. That was that. Listen, I've always talked about how much the Bears stretched me out. That '07, talk about Bulls fan PTSD. I definitely have Bears fan PTSD. Yeah. In case y'all didn't know, Leonard Thomas has been a fan since 1990. Listen, I love that we're a family here and that we talk shit to each other because that's all in love, right? Leonard knows it. He's laughing. He knows it. It's just talking shit. We have fun in here. He's now been a Packers fan for 15 years. He wears Packers clothes, has Packers. What? Oh man, come on. You at this point, you got to fight your dad. You got to fight your dad. You got to fight your dad. You have to fight him. That's what you have to do. He literally watches every Bears game every week to root against them. Love he damn. You got to fight him, bro. You got to fight Pops. You got to fight him. You got to fight him. Zach can create his own shot and is willing to share the. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Zach has reached the point where in some games and stretches, right? Because he does take some bad shots, especially sometimes when he shouldn't. But Zach it seems like he's at this point where he can score when he wants to. He can get almost any basket when he wants to. And that's a rare skill. There's not that many players who have that skill. CJ for Jaylen Brown swap. How y'all feel about? Ooh, you know what? I don't do the trade. I don't like the trade speculation, but I would love to see Jaylen Brown next to Dame Lillard. I would love that combination. I'm just gonna leave it on that. I'm not gonna go into it too much. What do we think of the Bulls' chance in the East for the next 3 to 5 years? Looks like we'll be battling 3 of the 6 best players in the league. Yeah, I mean, but the thing that other than Embiid, the Bulls have done pretty good against KD and Giannis. And again, it's not about one-on-one defense. It's about team defense. And the way that the Bulls guard is to let KD and Giannis do their thing. Maybe not at as efficient rate, but do their thing and stop everything else around them. They've been able to do that pretty well. I love the Bulls matchup against the Nets. The Nets don't scare me at all. The Bucks scared me some because they do have Giannis, right? It's Giannis, but I do think, especially when Patrick Williams is back and healthy, I think we're fine there the next 3 to 5 years. Embiid, though, we'll see, right? We'll see. Maybe we may have to pay somebody to take Embiid out. That's what we have to do. How do you think we're going to perform against the Lakers? What are your projections? Oh, the Bulls, if they play with the rosters that they currently have, right, with everyone who's in protocol, staying in protocols and whatever else, I think the Bulls have too many weapons, man, and I think they're too good defensively. And the Lakers are cool, but I do think the Lakers. It's not. Don't mean that to say like it's going to be easy, but I think the Bulls can definitely pull that game out for sure. You'll have 2,500 subs soon. It was 2,000 not long ago. Man. Listen, I've tried to steer away from too much of the from too much of the my light isn't on back there like it usually is. It threw me off. I try to steer away from like talking about it, but yeah, it was only a little like 2.5 weeks ago where we were celebrating passing 2,000 subscribers. And yeah, we've been growing a lot. What was the date that we did that 2,000 subscriber live stream? If I can find it real quick, I will mention it. I don't remember. Yep. I can't find it real quick, but I know it wasn't too long ago. But the channel's growing great, man. It's really growing big, and I thank you guys for that because that's I'm terrible at promoting. People who follow me on social media know I don't do a good job at promoting Chicago Bulls Central. So us growing is nothing but through other word of mouth, us catching the algorithm or whatever else. That's the only reason that we've grown as much as we have because I've done terrible at promoting this podcast. So this show. So yeah. The peak of Dame era may not even be their Western Conference appearance, which is kind of sad when you think about it. Yeah, it's sad when you think that somebody can have as consistently a great career as Dame without really having super major injuries, right? He didn't have like a Derrick Rose type injury where he was out of the game for a year plus more or whatever. But for a player who's as special as Dame to not be able to reach it really Dame Lillard, and people may kill me for this comparison too. Dame Lillard may be the point guard version of Carmelo Anthony that he just never wins the title. Now Carmelo may win one with the Lakers, right? But that it's unfortunate. It sucks. It really does suck. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Nick, boy, I got Raiders fan PTSD. Hey, at least y'all. Well, yeah, it's been okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Blazers' main problem is that it's hard to win a 7-game series when your two best players are small guards who don't defend. Also, they didn't build the team very well to help their humiliating defense. Facts. I think that's kind of what I said. You said it a lot more eloquently and direct than I said it, but that's kind of what I was getting at. Shay, please stop talking about trades. We're going to wait till okay. Shay, you've left it. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just went back up. But fans are going to talk about trades. Like that's the thing. They're going to talk about it because that's the way that they see to improve the team. But I've said, and I've said it before too. I do think that the Bulls are going to focus on the buyer market. But then when you get reports like today that the Bulls are interested in trading for a wing, which is weird. People are going to talk. People are going to talk. Please don't mention Bears. My blood pressure gets shot. Listen, I was on Windy City Breeze's part of their live stream yesterday, and I came in when they were talking Bears. And I really thought about calling in, but I'm like, really, all I'm going to do is spread my my PTSD. I have My Bears PTSD is worse than my Bulls PTSD. At least we've had winning and playoff and deep runs and shit. The Bears is just one disappointment after another. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Bulls fan since 2000, but no, shout from Brooklyn, my brother. Shout out. What's going on, Rich? All of the coordinators in COVID protocol for the Bears. Football gods are bullying us at this point. Listen, that may be a help more than a hindrance. So we'll see. What do you think about Tony Allen shutting down Kevin Durant all those years ago? I mean, the thing is, and that's the thing, or players like Andre Iguodala and the defense he played on LeBron and their key. For people who automatically think the Bulls have a hole, they need to fill it with a star. Usually, and that's the thing, we have Caruso, but that's the thing. Like when you have a team that, if you can believe, can make a serious run, you don't try to fill it out with another superstar. You try to fill it out first with a key role player, and that's what I think the Bulls are going to try to do at the 4. Nick making fun of me. Nigga seen it goes. No, I just because I looked in the screen and then I looked back. I'm like, my light isn't on back there. I started to turn around to turn it on, but I'm like, do I really want to let you guys in on my secrets back there? I don't think I do. Because the key thing is, right, is that I have a professional, like this camera that I use on this side of the studio, not on the when I do the pre-recorded videos, is an actual cinema camera. Like this is a camera that I use to make my short films. It's like almost $5,000 camera, and the lens on it itself is $2,000. So I'm really closer to this wall than it looked like. Look. So, but it looks like I'm further away from the wall. So I didn't want to let that secret out, but it is what it is. Will Kyrie come back, and will it be too little? The thing is, no, if Kyrie does come back, right? If Kyrie comes back, He should be fresh, even if, and you would think that he's been working on his conditioning. It might take him a while to get back to Kyrie, but one of Kyrie's things is health, right? A fresh Kyrie, if a fresh Kyrie comes in January and finishes out the second half of the season, starting half the season off healthy, that could be dangerous, man. That could be real. But the thing that I will say, let me know what you guys think about this. In a matchup against the Nets, if Kyrie is back, I personally still want Lonzo guarding Harden, but I think LaVine now with the defender that we've seen LaVine come in, not that he can shut Kyrie down, but I think LaVine on Kyrie would be a fun matchup. And I think LaVine can make it frustrating for Kyrie. He's longer than Kyrie. He's bigger than Kyrie, I think, as well, too. I think that would be that would be the series where, for people who still doubt, if anyone does still doubt LaVine's defense, for him to guard Kyrie and do a really good job, that will wake a lot of people up. That will wake a lot of people up. I have 2 YouTube accounts and they're both. Thank you, bro. I definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. If AD keeps playing soft, we should be able to take that game on Sunday. I don't know what it is with him. He doesn't realize he's great. He could be Embiid, Giannis, and KD. But listen, for example, if you put Javonte Green's heart and hustle in a body like AD, is the best player in the NBA, hands down. Hands down. I don't know if it's AD doubts himself, if he gets down on himself, if he doesn't like, if the physicality gets to him when a defender gets really physical with him. I don't know what it is, but best believe there is something there. There's absolutely something to be true there. Happy for you, brother. I appreciate you, Thomas. I appreciate you. With that being said, I'll take AD any day of the week if you want to come back home. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Do you have Bulls? No, Bull Central. Like, again, so I have to tell the story every so often. So I started this as just a podcast. This was not supposed to be on YouTube. I'm not a YouTube watcher generally. I started watching it since I've been on YouTube. I had no idea Bull Central existed when I did 4 episodes. So it was a month that I was just doing a podcast, no video. I had already picked the name, logo was created. So then, because I'm a filmmaker, I have cameras, I have a shit ton of cameras. I have probably, like, this side of the studio is $12,000, but I have like maybe $10,000 in cameras and different lenses and camera equipment. I was like, I might as well record it. My mind was first, I was going to record the podcast and just use the video clips for promo. But then I was like, fuck it, let me put it up to YouTube. I was probably 2 or 3 videos into YouTube before I even knew Bull Central was a thing. So I apologize for that, but no beef at all. He's probably my second favorite. Locked on Bulls is my favorite Bulls content creators, but he's definitely up there for sure. And he deserves to be the biggest channel for the Chicago Bulls on YouTube. Team defense is cool, but at the end of the day, you need a killer in the playoffs, and KD is a killer. The greatest players makes team defense look silly, and KD is great. Again, I mean, I get what you're saying, but team defense has won sometimes too. It just depends on the will and if they can get in KD's head enough. I will give it to you and say that you lean more towards KD being able to overcome the Bulls team defense, but you just never know. You never know. And you followed up. That being said, I still believe in the Bulls. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm on the buyout train. We got nothing. And that's the thing. Again, not that we don't have anything to trade, right? Because looking at it from some fans' perspective, we have Patrick Williams as a trade target. If people believe in his potential, he could be a very big trade target. But AK and Eversley are not trading Patrick Williams. Looking at draft picks, right? People especially talking about superstars for rebuilding teams. They want draft picks. Bulls have no first-round picks they can offer. Don't talk to me about that Portland pick, because that pick is basically a glorified second-round pick if we get it. And it doesn't look like we're going to get it right now. So, yeah, we don't really have the assets. Y'all know Zoe going to ball out on Sunday against the Lakers. He be getting ready, those PTSD flashbacks. I definitely think he wants to show up. That's for sure. I feel good every time we beat a team from New York because I hate the Knicks with a passion, and I hate the Brooklyn Nets with a passion as well. I hate the Knicks, but I hate the Knicks because I've been a Bulls fan my whole life. Honestly, take it objectively. If I wasn't a Bulls fan, I would have loved Patrick Ewing more than I did. I didn't really care for Patrick Ewing, but only because I wanted to see the Bulls kick their ass every time they played. So yeah, for sure. Best thing about being from the area with no teams, you can like whatever team. Bulls and Steelers are my teams. Where are you from, Cap? Where are you from? But yeah, for sure. I understand that. I understand that. Realistically, who can the Bulls make a trade for to progress in terms of being a contender? Probably be big 4 or 5 defensive minded guy, but what assets do we give up? Again, the Bulls don't have really assets to trade. The only thing that the Bulls could do, really, if we're talking realistic trade market, is that if a team is ready to buy out a player and the Bulls don't want to risk that player getting to the buyout market just in case they think another team may be more interested in them, all they can do is say, hey, we have expiring contracts in Troy Brown Jr. We have Alizé's contract if we need to match. We have these pieces that you can get off their deals. They're not long-term deals. And we can throw, if you guys, rather than buy them out, if you want the potential of the Portland pick, that's really all the Bulls have. That's really all that they have. So it's going to probably be more the buyout market than anything else. Pause. I missed something. Josh, I definitely probably missed something. Joel, you're new here. Let's see what we got. Is it me or did anyone notice that Derrick Rose back in the days only played great lockdown defense when he was in the playoffs or playing against? Listen, Derrick Rose's first 3 to 4 years in the league, he was a really good defender. And you're right. He showed up big time against other big. It's like he saw other point guards, marquee point guards, and was like, not tonight, motherfucker. It's like he said that every time. But then it slowly went down. But I mean, he's because Derrick Rose had to give us so much on offense for us to be legitimate. So it is what it is. Joe says, yes, sir. I'm new. Sorry. Hey, don't apologize. Welcome. Inside the shit. Why the fuck is that name being brought up on my channel? I think considering that Tyson and Thad don't get bought out from their respective teams, I think the best guy to inquire about will be Serge Ibaka in a trade. Again, even if Tice and Thad are bought out, we can't re-sign them. We signed and traded Tice to Houston. We traded Thad to the Spurs. If they're bought out, we can't sign them outright. So there you go with that. KD scoring 150 points in 4 games is actually insane. Yeah. It's yeah. That means period. Yeah. Obviously, it seems it's a better chance Clips hold on and surge, but you never know. You might as well check. A phone call doesn't hurt anyone. And as a young wing like Cam Reddish would be cool for. Oh, okay. We're Jonathan Washington Jr. You've been here, bro. You know me. You know how I feel about this. Again, I wouldn't mind the Cam Reddish for Kobe White thing if it happened straight up. I don't think that's the way it's going to go. But I really the Bulls don't have assets to trade, and most people you can bring up aren't playing good, so their trade value isn't really high right now. Nick has a hot take. Not only Zach will be a killer, but this new DeMar, he's going to be an assassin in postseason. If you think you heard Kobe a bit this year watching the playoffs, he's going full Mamba. From your mouth to God's ears, my brother. From your mouth to God's ears. The only reason I don't 100% hate the Knicks right now is because of Rose. He really fits on that team, in my opinion. Yeah, for sure. Jonathan Washington, inside Chicago Bulls got a dish. Listen, let me tell you right now, my editing skills are amazing. If that motherfucker was ever to mention Chicago Bulls Central, if he ever says Bulls, Chicago, and Central in the same sentence, the hilarity that would ensue is going to be legendary. You haven't seen me go into Pusha T mode. Believe me. I've been involved in podcast beefs before, and I've shut the motherfuckers down. So that's all I'm going to say with that. Does this make me a violent person? But I love playoff games with other players. Again, that's old school basketball. That's what you want to see. Like, again, not in the point where they hate each other, but the point that they are so competitive that it does get a little heated. They respect each other after the games or after the series is over with. But you like to see that. It's good for the game. It's good for TV. It's good for everything. Yeah, we all hate the Knicks, man. Somehow I feel like the D-Rose signing with them is so bittersweet. I caught myself rooting for the New York in the playoffs last year. I can't go against D-Rose, man. Listen, I'm glad we have Caruso, right? I am glad that the Bulls have Caruso. Don't get me wrong. But if Derrick Rose had come back to this team like as some people were reporting, and keep in mind, the Bulls announced the Caruso signing minutes after the Derrick Rose re-signing with the Knicks was announced. I tend to believe that there was some talk there and that it almost happened. That's just my own personal theory. If that would have went down with the way that this team is playing, keep in mind how this team is playing. You had Derrick Rose coming off the bench with him shooting over 40% right now from 3-point. This city would have been. You thought we were this? The city of Chicago is hype right now, man. That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. But I do love seeing Io guard Derrick Rose. I've loved seeing the 2 times in different games that Derrick Rose and Io have checked in at the same time, and it's just something special about that. It's something special about that. All right, in terms of biomarker, who's the best outlook for us? Favors, Tristan Thompson, Robin Lopez. I've been saying Derek Favors. So if Derek Favors is bought out, let's say nobody else, if no other power forward is bought out and Derek Favors is bought out and the Bulls get him, that's a win in my opinion. That's a win in my opinion. Him able to play center, so we almost completely eliminate Tony Bradley from the lineup at that point. Him being able to play backup center, him being able to possibly start at the 4, depending on what the Bulls want to do. They may want to go with more athleticism and keep starting Javonte Green. But then when Patrick Williams comes back, to be able to have Patrick Williams not Patrick Williams. When Patrick Williams is back fully healthy, to be able to have Derek Favors be the first forward off the bench, right? But first big man off the bench, I should say. That's a nice 3-man rotation. That is 3. Petty will be. Listen, I'm trying to keep Petty Roosevelt locked in. I'm trying to keep him locked in. Do you think Patrick Williams will get big? I've said before, I really think if Patrick Williams comes back in March, or he may come back early. Let's say he comes back late February, early March, early to mid March, whatever. And I think he'll come back, get about 10 to 12 minutes per game. But I don't think that they're going to go right back to starting him heavy minutes, even in the playoffs. I think he's probably going to play about 15 to 16 minutes in the playoffs, but he's going to get that playoff experience. He's going to learn that playoff atmosphere. Hell, keep in mind, Zach hasn't even really had that, right? So it's key to get him some playoff experience and atmosphere, but I don't think he's going to come back to heavy minutes. That's what I think. I could be completely wrong. We've seen, hell, Kobe came back. I thought they were going to ease him in, getting 18 and 20 minutes. So we'll see. Cap, been wondering, where does the nickname Haze come from? Okay, so it doesn't come through on camera very well, especially when I wear my glasses. My eyes are hazel. So my big sister, when I was little, called me Haze. Like, it's literally been a nickname that I've had since I was probably like 5 years old. Probably younger than that. That's just when I remember it. So it's always been Haze, and she's the only one that calls me that. So when I started going into podcasting, I wanted to have a moniker. I didn't want to use my real name is Cordero, which is cool enough, right? There's not that many people named Cordero. It's not a name that you hear all the time. So I should have kind of used that. But the name Haze has always been something, always been a moniker. When I owned the studio when I was younger, and I had my mixtape came out. It was under Haze. So it's always been my nickname that I go to. If the Chicago Bulls play Milwaukee Bucks, Lonzo Ball guard Chris Middleton or Jrue Holiday, I think you can fix between the two of them. I think you mix it up depending on who's hot. That's what I see. I would love to see D Rose back in Chicago, but I think it was probably a blessing in disguise. He re-signed with New York. I think Caruso was a better fit. Exactly. I agree with that. Caruso is probably a better overall fit, but we would have definitely loved to see him here. I'm sorry, I don't like Derek Favors for this team because he's more of a center now than a power forward. I would have to look at his splits. I know he does play some power forward still in OKC, but I mean the thing is that he can do both. He can do both. I think still. I know he plays more center now, but I think he can do both. I really do. Especially, and here, let me go back to this. I especially like it because if you look at the way they play Vooch is on the perimeter a lot of times to mid-range. Vooch doesn't go down low a lot with the way that the Bulls offense. So even though Derek Favors would be starting at power forward, he really would be playing more of a traditional center role. So that's what I think. If we did Harrison Barnes on this team, listen, I've said that too. The perfect, let me not say perfect. Perfect is too strong of a word. Words mean thing. But I would, all things the same, if you give me Harrison Barnes and Derek Favors are both bought out, it's Harrison Barnes. If Derek Favors is the only player that's bought out, it's Derek Favors to me. So I saw Derek Favors play in New Orleans with Lonzo for one season. He's basically Tony Bradley 2.0. No, Derek Favors is better than Tony. Tony Bradley can't even hold on to the ball. Come on, man. You guys see Skip respond to KD by praising him even more. This man got dissed and said KD was only saying it to make himself play better. How Skip's little world operates is, listen, Skip lives, him and Kanye West live in their own separate universes. Skip Bayless is the Kanye West of sports broadcasting. That's all I got to say with that one. What do you think of a potential Kobe White, Anthony Edwards? Oh, come on, man. That's never going to happen. No, come on. I predict Vucevic in the Lakers game because DeAndre Jordan can't guard him from outside. We'll see. Barnes has a fairly large contract, so I don't know what we would want to trade for him. Even so, we do need another wing that plays like him. I can see where you're coming from with that. King Austin, the Wolves would trade Ant for Kobe if they were high on coke and meth at the same time. Stop it. Listen. Oh, man. I was trying not to go to petty. That's the Petty Roosevelt response right there, King Austin. And I'm glad you said it because I've been trying to keep Petty Roosevelt contained. DeMar Alonzo AC entered Bulls, he says, because they want to win. Does that mean that we can win it? I think I've talked about this before. There's a world in which that happens. I think a lot of us get lost in the idea of getting another big name for this team, but in reality, is the missing piece already on the team? When Vooch, DeMar, and Zach are clicking, it's a wrap. Yeah, but it still doesn't do much for the offensive rebounding rate of this team, the big man defense of this team. Yes, offensively. That's why for people who are like calling for players who can like score 20 points a game, that's not what we need. We do need something on defense for sure, though. This season. Vincent Harris, I love it when we got a hot take alert. I'm gonna create like a little thing, hot take alert. The Chicago Bulls will win the next 6 games. From your mouth to God's ears, Vincent Harris. Is Bron in protocol, or is that just the thumbnail? It's just the thumbnail. Just the thumbnail. Like I said, I will never do clickbait content, but I will make some clickbait thumbnails. I'm just being honest with that one. Do you think Vooch will eventually get over his slump? He's experiences. I feel he's putting the work in, but his shots just aren't falling. Maybe it's a mental. I do think he works himself out of it. I absolutely do think he works his way out of it, for real. I think we just need another guy at the 4 that can offer him some rim. Exactly. I agree with that. That's really what we need. It's just another 4 who can rebound, hit open shots, shot block, that type of stuff. If Skip is Kanye, who is Steven? Stephen A. Smith would be. All right, Skip Bayless is the Kanye West of sports broadcasting. Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith would be. Shit, I don't even fucking know, man. I don't know. I can't stand Stephen A. Smith, though. I can't stand it. I like Kanye. Listen, Kanye, the old Kanye is magnificent. Kanye may have the best three-peat in 3 albums, 3 damn near classic albums, if not classics, back to back to back. Ever. There's only a handful of artists that's done something like that. So yeah, old Kanye is definitely amazing. Who's watching Spider-Man? Listen, I'll be seeing Spider-Man in a few hours. Hello, I commented that because I saw your YouTube clip you posted earlier today where Petty Roosevelt came out. What are you guys smoking? Yeah. That shit is crazy. Why do you hate Stephen A. Smith? The reason I don't hate Stephen A. Smith, but you have to be honest in evaluating him. Stephen A. Smith, before he got fired from ESPN, I love Stephen A. Smith. When he got fired, went away for a while, and came back to ESPN, he became a corporate shell. That's what he is. Stephen A. Smith is somebody who is loud, boisterous, and often doesn't, and out of touch. That's why it's not hate. It's just an honest critique of how he is. Because Stephen A. Smith in like the early 2000s, before he got fired, was great. Quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith was on my DVR every fucking day. So, yeah. We need to be patient with Pat and even Kobe, to be honest. Despite injuries, just the fact that both have played during COVID seasons to date is crazy. Sort of unfair to judge either this early. Listen, I've been saying that. Let me talk about Kobe White there for a second. Kobe White came in, immediately played out of position, right? Dealt with a COVID year in his rookie year. Season ended. The Bulls didn't get to come back. Never got to finish that. Next season, again, playing out of position. And with a coach That was terrible, right? Keep in mind, we got to keep in mind the Boylan effect, right? He stunted so many players' growth and their development. So because of all that, it's like, okay, Kobe, again, 40% shooter last season. Hasn't been that this season, but that efficiency coming off the bench could be really good for us. Could really be good for us. This is ridiculous, but what caliber of player would you? Okay, I'm sorry, bro. I don't. I hate doing. I know you're new here. I hate doing trade speculation talk already, but I'm not. We're not trading Caruso. That's not happening. So I'm not even going to get into that. Caruso is going to teach Io so much. Obviously, we see his value, but by year 3, I project he will be in that Seth Curry tier of guards, efficient and electrical needed, and in the league. We'll see. But I agree with all. I agree with everything you said. But the issue is, as a second round pick, if he is that electric and that good by then, we may not be able to re-sign him. And I've said why before. If you guys need me to say that again, let me know. But yeah. Stephen A. Smith, a sellout. I do whatever. Exactly. That's what it is. Gerard Lee, Stephen A. Smith is exactly. He is 50. That is a great comparison. Great comparison. Absolutely. I don't know why, but I don't really like that guy, Shannon Sharp, because he talks. Listen, Shannon Sharp is just trying to imitate Stephen A. Smith. That's all. That's what he's out there to do. I feel like Max Kellerman really had good points and was willing to have civil discussions, but Stephen A. was so overbearing that Max was never able to show his true talent until he left First Take. I agree with that as well. Stephen A. Smith is just loud and wrong so often. I'm not saying trade Caruso. I'm just wondering what his value would be. And I think hypothetically, I think it would be really high because you see the value that he offers. You see that value. I really think starting Kobe while Zach's out, allowing him to focus on scoring only would be beneficial to him in terms of getting his Okay, here's the thing with that. When you put Kobe in the starting lineup, it's not just about him getting offense and just scoring. He has to play within the confines of the way that the offense is constructed. What Kobe does off the bench is he can come in and just shoot. Now, they could rejigger things to allow Kobe to just keep moving without the ball to see if he can get open, but that really does change how the Bulls play basketball. If they want to simulate a style that they have with Zach LaVine out there, Caruso is really the best bet because of Caruso's versatility. But again, I'm not saying you're wrong with that. That could be what gets Kobe out of the shooting slump. But he did start. Kobe started for 3 games, I think, and it didn't really get him out of that shooting slump. So we'll see. You're not wrong, though. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't necessarily think that's what they're going to do. This probably wouldn't happen, but what do you think about us acquiring DeAndre Hunter? He seems too important. Yeah, I mean, I would love him on this team, but yeah, he definitely seems too important. Calvin Harvey, yo, what's up, bro? What's up? Want Io to be great, but then we won't be exactly. I think people just care about Stephen A. speaks, how Stephen speaks instead of what he's saying. I agree with that for sure. D. Thomas with the hot take. They should bring the bubble back. Hey, that may be what happens. Aside from the Bulls, what's your second favorite team of all time and why? So before, I was a huge Baron Davis fan when he was younger, when he was with Charlotte, the original Charlotte Hornets. Huge Baron Davis fan. And so my second favorite team, right, isn't the Steph Curry Warriors. It's the Baron Davis, Corey Maggette, Al Harrington Warriors. When they went on that run and they beat the Mavericks in the playoffs, that team was so great. And it was great for me to see somebody that I loved when they were younger that had an injury, got knocked down some rings, and then to really build himself back up. Monte Ellis was on that team too. I loved that version of the Warriors. I loved them. That's one of my single season teams. That's one of my favorite. Now, if we're talking about my second favorite franchise overall in basketball, I would have to say the Mavericks because I was a huge Dirk guy, and I'm a huge Luka guy now. So that's probably what I'll say. Maybe Io will just want to stay home. LOL. I mean, even Debo talked about never truly wanting to leave home until you just ended up in Toronto. Maybe Io wants to win at home. or I put the blunt out. I mean, no, there is something to be said to that. Io may not even listen to offers for other teams. When you hear him say, like, I'm from Chicago, him playing for the Chicago Bulls, Io may not even get to the point of, unless his agent is like, no, you should probably listen to these deals. Io may not even talk to other teams. His contract may come up. The Bulls may offer him $8 to $9 million a year, and he's like, you know what? And I get to stay at home. All right, I don't need to listen to any other teams. But again, keep in mind, young player, being able to provide for your family, staying at home sounds good until a team offers you $15 million per. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Maybe, and it actually would be great for Io to play great because we could offer him the bet. No, no, no. See, Joe, that's the difference. Is that he's a second round pick. We don't have the same protections. We have early bird rights, but we don't have bird rights. We don't have the full bird rights. We don't have that full ability to go over the cap like teams. So no, a team could come and offer him more than what we can because he's a second round pick. Look at what happened to Wesley Matthews in a case like that, leaving the Jazz to the Trailblazers. I think he went after his 2 years. Second round picks, we don't have that same ability to offer the best contract as other teams do. It doesn't work that way with second round picks. The We Believe Warriors, man. I love that team so much, bro. I remember watching that playoff series, and I was so happy for Baron Davis. Baron Davis, again, I'm not saying he's one of the top 5 best players of all. I'm not saying that. He's one of my top 5 favorite players of all time because I loved Baron Davis when he was a rookie. I love Baron when he, like, all of that. Baron Davis was probably the first player to think of it. Again, I was born in '86. And, even though I was watching basketball, I wasn't really conscious of it. But Baron Davis was one of the first players I got to see I remember his whole career from start to finish. And he's one of my favorite players of all time. I love the bodyguard. That's what they called him because he wasn't just a point guard. He got in people's bodies. Baron Davis was amazing, man. And to think what his career could have been had he not hurt himself, is just crazy to think. Crazy to think. I think Io knows it was fate for him to be in Chicago. Hey, absolutely. And it could be. Don't get me wrong. Caruso's great, right? Caruso is amazing. But by the end of Caruso's contract, if Io's playing well and still with this team, the Bulls may let Caruso walk and be fine and say, hey, Io, you're now our third guard. To have a guard rotation of, again, this is thinking how Io could progress, of Lonzo, Levine, and Io, if he progresses the way that we think. Could be crazy. Could be crazy. Smear 60. My second favorite team is the Memphis Grizzlies. Definitely, I feel that. They won't shut down the season. It will stay the same. Typical overreacting to new variant, which is less severe. If anything, they need to scrap COVID protocols and deal with. No. That's not what they're gonna do. How you doing personally, Haze? We don't ask that question enough. John, thank you, bro. I'm good. My spirits is good. I'm literally in one of the best periods I have ever been in life, honestly. Part of that is having this channel. Part of that is like where my photography business is. This is a humble brag, but this will be the first year of my life that I easily clear 100,000 a year financially. So that being able to provide for that way for my kids has been huge and amazing. Like I said, career's going good. My passion projects are going good. My filmmaking, my photography careers are going amazing. My kids are all healthy. They're all great. My son is like, he started as a freshman on the varsity basketball team last year. He was the first freshman to start on the varsity team at my son's school in the last 12 years. So everything's been going great, man. Everything's been going great. Joe, snap, I'm learning. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how different the first round pick contracts are to the second round pick contracts. They're very, very different in how they're structured and how it works when they're off those initial rookie deals. So 2013-14 Chicago Bulls was my favorite team because no matter what type of injuries we went through, we fought hard, and that's why we missed Tom Thibodeau sometimes. Is that the Nate Robinson year? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember everything, but was that the Nate Robinson year? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. At what point do you think the NBA will respond to the COVID outbreak because it's starting to become debilitating for the entire association? Ah, I don't know. I really don't know how the NBA is going to respond to this. I really don't. They Something needs to happen, right? Something definitely needs to happen. I don't know what they change. I don't know if they have enough time. Well, they'll change some things, right? Just the amount of this um outbreak, they'll definitely be able to change something, but I don't know what that will be. Um I don't know how they're going to change that. How they're going to go about changing it, but we'll see. We'll see. Steve O, congrats. Thank you, brother. I get that. Some of our favorites aren't the best. Like my brother loves Kyle Lowry, but he's a Sixers fan. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, okay. I thought that was a Nate Robinson year. That was a great team. That was absolutely to see Nate Robinson go off too. It's just fucking crazy. Like he's just crazy. Do you think CP3 will retire without a ring? It may happen, man. It may happen, but I mean the Suns look great. They at everything they look like they picked it right back up this season. So I mean they may make the finals again this year. And you know they could win it. They could win it. I mean, it looked like they were going to win it at one point last year too, right? The first couple games of that series, but they're 22-5 right now, so they absolutely can get back there. They can get back there. I remember us like making the playoffs and going against the Cavs, thinking, "Man, we're gonna lose, but we can win this shit." LeBron proven it so much in the East. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. These weekday streams are so chill and dope, man. We got to do these at least twice a week. Listen, well, the plan is to do these after games, right? The plan is to do these live streams after games, but because the Bulls games were postponed, I had these on the schedule already. I was like, fuck it. Let me still do these. Let's just hang out. We'll talk. The numbers aren't as big, but fuck the numbers. Like it's this, like I said, we're family at this point. So it's like catching up with family. It's like being in a group chat with family when we do these live streams. Never said they will scrap the protocols, just saying they should because it's not feasible or sustainable with the overreaction to new variants. They knew this was going to happen and will continue. I mean, but you have to have something in place to be prepared. Like I said, I get what you're getting at, but it's null and void. It's not going to happen. Nick, that series against the Cavs, listen, yeah, that series fucking drove me bananas. Drove me bananas. Speaking of Nate Robinson, it hurt me different when he got knocked clean out by Jake Paul because he means a lot to me as a Bulls fan. That was embarrassing. That was definitely embarrassing. What if Kobe White turns into Nate Robinson? Listen, if from your mouth to God's ears, if that happens, I would love to see it. Love to see it. Haize building multiple revenue streams. Hey, listen, you got to nowadays. You have to build multiple revenue streams. I truly believe that. Cordell 98, yo Haize, I really do love that you do these live streams. Hope you continue to do them, even though we do disagree on Lonzo. Hey, we're not all going to agree, right? We're family. Family doesn't always agree. But you know, it is what it is. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. That's why I do these. You guys called for them. That's why I'm doing them. If cases continue to grow, I think we'll start to see arena capacity slowly decrease and potentially a bubble situation or no fans at all. Worst case scenario. Hopefully, this is just a speed bump. That's what I think is going to be a speed bump more than anything. I think they'll adjust. I think they'll do some things. They definitely don't want to go to knocking down capacity because, like I said, most of those tickets are already sold at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'll never forget that the Bulls Nets 3-OT playoff game where Nate Robinson went off. Found out my wife was pregnant straight after. Oh shit, Tom T. That is a fucking amazing 1-2 punch. To have that playoff game and then to find out that your wife was pregnant right afterwards, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Jonathan Washington Jr. This is barbershop talk right here. That's what this is. I want my live streams to feel like, and originally, so like I have 3 sets in the studio. The pre-recorded videos with the red and blue lights on the background and my Haze sign, that's over here. I do this one is like my main setup. And then I have another setup over there with it's like a lounge. It has a couch and good lighting over there. One of these days I'm going to do the stream from over there because I really do want it to feel like you're just sitting talking to family, friends, whatever after a game. Do you think Zone Caruso will make all defensive teams this year? I do. I think Zoe will, and I think Caruso will probably be third team. Yeah, I definitely think they have the potential to. I definitely think they have the potential to. Remember our names when you blow the fuck up and are in tears taking a celebration shot. Listen, bro. We'll see, man. I'm always gonna remember, like, and that's the thing that I do love about the live streams, but also the fact that my channel isn't that big, so I really do know you guys. Like, I know you guys to a degree, the ones that show up here all the time. Ricky Fontaine isn't here, which I'm surprised at, but I know you guys, and that's great. Have you ever heard of a Facebook group called Bulls Fam? I actually think I'm in a lot of Bulls groups even before I started this podcast. I used to share the live stream links there. I didn't do that today. I should have done that. But yeah, I'm in a lot of. I think I'm in that one. I think I'm not active in all of them. Kind of bounce in and out, but I do think I'm in that one. Still pissed the Bulls didn't get Nate back. He just wanted a 1.5. I mean, but hey, it all worked out because then he signed to the Nuggets and then he tore his ACL shortly after that. So it happened. Paul can box, man. Nate Robinson needs some better friends because he should have never been in that ring to begin with. For real. For real. You want to talk about pain? The Eastern Conference Finals against Miami started my hate for LeBron. I've chilled on him now. I just respect his greatness. I do. I respect LeBron's greatness, but I hate him as a player. I love him as what he does off the court. But yeah, that definitely started it. That definitely started it for me. I wish John Wall was playing right now. I'm from Baltimore, and besides D Rose growing up, he was my favorite point guard to watch. It's sad all the injuries derailed him like D Rose. Hope he goes to the Clips. We'll see what happens there. We shall see. But what happened with John Wall is crazy. What happened with John Wall was crazy. Sorry, my daughter texted me. All right, let's see. What was the best experience you ever had at a Bulls game in the UC? I think I talked about that before. Derrick Rose versus, I don't remember the year. I don't remember exactly what game it was, but we played Utah, and it was Deron Williams with the Utah Jazz, and D Brown was still on that team. And former Illini guys, and the crowd was going crazy for them. But D Rose busted Deron Williams' ass that whole game. So that was my favorite, one of my favorite experiences. I show up all the time, but I don't ever say anything. Well, what's up, Ace? I'm glad you finally said something, man. What's going on? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the streams. Even if you haven't been saying anything, we definitely appreciate you. Just out of curiosity, do you go to many games? I bought season tickets this year right after the DeRozan signing, and it's been a magical season. Thus, I probably go to 2 to 3 games a year. Keep in mind, I don't live in Chicago. I live in Columbus, Ohio. So I've been to. I hate the Cavs arena, so I really don't go. And I hate Cleveland as a city. Cleveland is the armpit of America, and Pittsburgh is the asshole. Those two, I hate those two cities with passions. They're terrible cities to me. But so I look, DC is one of my favorite cities. So I like, if they do play the Wizards, I try to go there. I've seen them at the UC a bunch. I've actually gone to New York to see them at Madison Square. No, no. I went to Barclays to see them play the Nets. I haven't been to Madison Square Garden yet. That's one of my dream places to go to. I don't know why, but I really wanted that guy Paul Zipser to turn into something because I really like how he played at first. Listen, there were times where Paul Zipser seemed like he was going to be one of those tough defender type players, but it just didn't work out that way. It's just like for you. Damn, I lost my train of thought. I completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, there was a little chance there for sure. What Westbrook Bradley in protocol, Isaiah Thomas 10-day contract in Lakers. Yeah, we talked about that already, I think. Wait, Bradley. Oh, not our Bradley. Never mind. I'm in college. Had presentations today. The guy who presented before me had his presentation about why LeBron James is the go. Man, kick him in the fucking nuts. Tell him to come to Petty Roosevelt's way. I'll get him straight. Who had the brighter future? D Rose. Ooh, that is a great question. You're saying without injury, who had the brighter future? I still put Derrick Rose there. I'm always going to bet on our guy. Plus, Derrick Rose won an MVP. Brandon Roy was really, really good, and he had a chance to be one of the greats, but I don't think he would have gotten to the levels D Rose got to. Is this podcast a job or side hobby or just a hobby? Podcast is just a passion. That's all it is. Like this all it is. This is a passion for me. That's what this is. I calling it a hobby would be undercutting it. Calling a job is too official. This is just a passion for me. Just a passion. Cleveland, Ohio seems like it. Listen, Cleveland, Ohio is the fucking. I'm so like I live in Columbus, Ohio. I could never live in Cleveland. Columbus is great. Columbus is like it's the 13th largest city in the country. I think we may have moved up to 12th, but the 13th largest city in the whole country. It's amazing here. It's so diverse here. Keep in mind, I grew up in Europe. I grew up in Germany and Italy, and this really does kind of feel like what it was living on the military base there because it's so diverse in the cultures and cuisine and everything here. Cleveland is the fucking pits. Nobody could pay me enough to live in Cleveland. Cleveland is the worst fucking city in the world. I would rather live in Iraq than Cleveland. That's how I feel. Before I be forgetting Miami has Vic coming back off injuries too. It's crazy how loaded they are this year. They're still beatable. They're still beatable. That year Rose got hurt. Do you think adding RIP would have been enough? That we were a better team that year. We were a better team that year than the year before. I don't know if it would have been enough to get past Cleveland and Miami Heat and LeBron, but we were a better team that year. That's what I think for sure. Why Haize channel is inner Joe Kimno? What did I do? What did I do? I don't even know what I did, man. I don't even know what I did. D Rose by a mile, in my opinion, but Roy was definitely nice, man. Definitely nice. Bulls at Wizards on New Year's Eve. I'm still trying to go, man. If you do, let me know. I don't know why, but I love them tough, gritty type players like Taj Gibson and those tougher rebound, bruising types of players. That's why I fell in love with Daniel Tice when he came here to Chicago. There's Chicago type players, like right. A Taj Gibson, a third or fourth year version of Taj Gibson would be perfect for this team right now. Perfect. Columbus is an amazing city with a lot of great music going on at a local level. Cleveland sucks, but man, their team is fun this year. For sure. Oh, our local music here in Columbus is amazing. Like local rap too. I know you guys don't know, but look up a rapper called Cassius Keys. And he dropped not his last album, the album before that. He dropped it on my birthday and shouted me out. So it's not just because of that, but Cassius Keys is an amazing rapper. So anyone who like loves rap, not mainstream rap, look up Cassius Keys. I'm gonna put his name. I'm gonna spell it for you guys in the comment section, and then thank me later. Next live stream, tell me what you guys think about Cassius Keys. But all right, Joakim no, because I was roasting Cleveland. That makes sense. Who is your new player who gives you vibes from a classic favorite player of yours? Mine is Ja. That pre-injury D Rose vibe. He gives me, man, nobody else gives me that feeling. I would probably agree with you there. I would definitely probably agree with you there for sure. Definitely. Cleveland seems like a ghost city by the way y'all talk. Listen, Cleveland is fucking terrible. Anyone who tells you they love Cleveland is fucking lying to you. They're just there because they're there. Whether it's for family or they can't move. That's it. Cleveland is not an end destination for anyone but Satan. The first ring of hell is in Cleveland, Ohio. That's all I got to say with that. What's the place to grab a bite if I ever decide to go to Columbus? There's a few. It depends on what you like. The Eagle's really good. Melt's really good as well. Those are both in the short north. Anything in North Market, we have like this place called North Market where it's like a lot of restaurants in a building. That's amazing. Carfanga's is good. There's a lot of good food here in Columbus. A lot of good food here in Columbus. I would rather live in Iraq than Cleveland. Haze 2000. Oh man, did I say that shit? That's crazy. That's my comment. Why did I pick my own comment? You say Cleveland is the armpit of America. My dad says it's Macon, Georgia. Listen, the reason why I say Cleveland is the armpit, well, there's two armpits, so maybe Macon is the other one. But you got to go to Cleveland. Like literally, when you drive through Cleveland, it just feels depressing. Like it feels like there's always a rain cloud over Cleveland. There's even the people in Columbus. Keep in mind, we're only 2 hours apart from each other. people in Columbus, they're friendly. That was one of the first things I noticed moving here is everybody's friendly. They get along. They talk to you. When you go to Cleveland, literally everyone looks like their cat and their mom just died simultaneously. That's what Cleveland is like. It's a fucking drab of a place. Drab of a place. In your opinion, what rapper is best at playing basketball and what NBA player is best at rapping? I think you got to give Dame the best at rapping right now, right? I think so too. Don't forget, AI dropped an album that was fucking terrible. And what ball player is best at playing basketball? I haven't seen a lot of them, to be honest with you, but I'll give it to J. Cole just because of what happened in the last couple of years with him. What about Chicago Bulls Central? We do have a Discord. It's not a lot of people in it yet, and maybe that's just because I haven't done a good job of promoting it. But the link in the description, I added the Discord link to it, the Linktree link. If you click on that, YouTube, podcast, my social media, the Discord. I even built a Twitch. I'm going to start simultaneously streaming to too. All the links are in there. All of them are in there. Please let us win on Sunday because I really want to screw with Lakers fans. I'm going to go all on Lakers podcast and talk shit there. And unfortunately, I will not be doing the live stream for the Lakers game. Actually, I have a Christmas party to go to, and especially when the game was earlier, right? Because that game was originally supposed to happen at like 2 p.m. I was going to be able to do a live stream. It probably would only been like 40 minutes, and I would have had to cut out and get ready for the party. But once they pushed that game, the time back, I was like, "Yep, can't do it." Can't do it, unfortunately. It sucks because I love doing these live streams, but I guess because I've been giving you guys some without the games happening, so you got to forgive me on that one. I have a video up though early that next morning after it, but yeah, unfortunately, I would not be able to do a live stream after the Lakers game, man. Yeah, it's at 8 p.m. now, so yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it, unfortunately. Dun, 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 dun. Well, of course, Cleveland is depressing. It's a silly full of losers, Cavs, Browns. So not even fuck the sports teams. The sports teams are losing because they're in a bitch ass city like Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio is fucking terrible. If my kids told me that they were moving to Cleveland, Ohio, I would either kill them or kidnap them. There's no way. You don't do it. You don't let people you love live in Cleveland, Ohio. The Discord, the link to the Discord expired. Okay, hold on. Forgive me. I know this is not super professional. I try to keep my streams as professional as humanly possible. But I'm going to, where is my Discord? I'm going to drop a link in the comments for you. Give me 1 second. Of course, it's tough to find shit when you're actually looking for it, right? All right. Anyway, I'll try to do that simultaneously. I don't want to completely harp on the stream, but yeah. So I'll get that put back in there for you. Rap has jumped the shark. Rap is an interesting place right now, right? The rap game is, and I have a whole podcast built around hip hop. That's one of my secondary podcasts. But yeah, rap is so watered down now. Like everyone that makes this lazy, microwavable, easy, digestible music, but it seems like the passion is out of it, and that's where things go wrong a little bit for me, personally. But that's just me. I added the link back in there. Let me know if you guys see it. Yeah, there it goes. It just popped up for me. Would you be interested in the Bulls watch party some at some point, right? I would be definitely interested in it at some point. It just depends on when it's gonna work. Thoughts on Zach improving as his left hand heals? What are the expectations when he's full strength? I mean, looking at Zach, and I did it on my video today, the pre-recorded video I dropped. Zach LaVine's stats are basically the same that they were last year. Some 1 or 2 point variations in some places, but for the most part, they're the same. PR is higher. PR of 22 point something. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head right now. And to think that his shooting, right, he's only 1.5 percentage points away lower than what he shot the 3-pointer at last year. And that's, I think, because of the thumb. We can see Zach LaVine easily probably get back into that 50% shooting that he did last season and have an even more efficient season. So definitely I think that can happen. Maybe for a Hornets Bulls rematch with both teams healthy. Yeah. Oh, that'll probably be a really good team game to do it for. What can we say about Cleveland that hasn't already been said about Afghanistan? It looks bombed and depleted. Listen, if somebody gave me the choice of living in Cleveland, Ohio, or drinking the water from Flint, Michigan, I would just die. Like, just shoot me. Just shoot me. No, you know what? I'll probably take my chance on the water in Flint, Michigan. Why do you think Nene got the best of Joakim Noah in that play? What? I mean, because he's bigger. He's stronger than Joakim Noah. He's a better scorer than Joakim Noah. It's a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. I already said that. I really want to sweep the Brooklyn. Oh man, that'll be a large thing there to do to undertake. I don't know if they have enough to sweep the Nets. Wait, do you mean in the regular season or are you talking about playoff series? If we're talking about regular season, yeah, we can definitely do that. Definitely do that. All right. Anything left? Anything left? Dun, 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 dun. KD ain't having that. Again, it may not just be up to KD. Like I said, if he's talking about can we sweep our games with them in the regular season, I think we definitely can. I think we only play them one more time. And we've already won twice. So yeah, I think we can. That's definitely do. I haven't heard so much hate for nothing for a nothing town like Cleveland. Listen, I hate that motherfucking place, man. What do you think the Bulls' ceiling is this season? Eastern Conference Finals is for sure. I think, and depending on that matchup, they can win the Eastern Conference Final. But I definitely say the Eastern Conference Finals. Did we? Do we not play the Nets anymore this regular season? Let's see. Oh shit! You're right. We don't play the Nets anymore this season. That's crazy. We only play the Nets twice this season? No, no, no. We play them again January 12th. I thought we had another. So we play them again January 12th. And then that's the last game that we play them this season. So yeah, I definitely think we can sweep them in the regular season for sure. Who are the top 3 players you wanted to play like? I wasn't a basketball player. I was baseball and football player. I wasn't a basketball player. My dad always said I was too aggressive and I kept fouling people when I played basketball when I was younger. So I was never really a basketball player. I was primarily a football player. I was a running back in football. And then I fluctuated between shortstop and catcher in baseball. Oh, I've taken to that game shit. That's funny, man. That's funny. The Pelicans are putting Jackson Hayes on the market. You think the Bulls should take a run at him? Shouldn't take much to get. No, no. It takes something. Nobody's giving away somebody for nothing. But no, I don't know if he really does much for us. I really don't. I don't know. I wouldn't, not to say that you should necessarily take a look at him, but again, he's another project, right? The Bulls don't need another project. The Bulls need somebody who's ready to contribute. They need a veteran. And that's why I say that I don't think we take a look at him. We played the Nets. Oh yeah, we just said that. We just said that. Yeah, we play them again on the 12th. I wanted to be Rodney McGruger growing up for real. I still can't get over how the whole Warriors team started roasting him last year. That's funny. That's funny. Imagine if they had Hawks versus Bulls on Christmas instead of the freaking Knicks. Man, we need our Christmas Day game back, please. Next season, we have to have that game back. Well, and that's the thing. If the Bulls keep winning at the rate that they're going, the Bulls are going to have a lot of nationally televised games next year. Think about it. Think about it. The year that we first drafted Rose, we didn't have too many nationally televised games because the Bulls had a lot the previous season and then we disappointed, right? And then the next season we still had more than what we have this season, but we didn't have a lot. But then after Derrick Rose showed that this team, and after that playoff series against the Boston Celtics, the Bulls on that next time were on television. It felt like at least once a week. So we're gonna have a lot of televised games next year if we keep playing this way. That's not even a thing. That's not even a question. Jackson Hayes is a young JaVale McGee with the right. Oh, I'm not saying again, but I'm just saying the Bulls don't need another project. That's what I'm saying. With what the Bulls, keep in mind, in the Bulls' front office mind, this is what I think some people are forgetting. The Bulls have their starting power forward in Patrick Williams. They're not trying to get another project. They're not trying to get another player that develops. We already have Cook and Marco that need to develop as big men. The Bulls aren't trying to develop another big man right now. I don't think. Again, I haven't talked to AK. I could be fucking wrong, but I don't see that happening. Because of that, I don't think the Bulls look at a project for that big man position. I think that they look at a veteran who's proven and who you know what you're going to get night in and night out. That's what I think. I saw you in that Bulls Nation Facebook group. Those guys in there want to trade the entire team and the trades be dumb. Listen, I just woo the trades that they come up with in those Facebook groups just really, and they really do think that the Bulls can trade like Troy Brown Jr. and get a gym and do nothing else, and it's just like and then anybody who you're having a trade conversation with, if they pull up a screenshot from the trade machine, just walk away. Let them have it. Just walk away. Don't even. They're not worth your time. They're really not worth your time. That's not in Facebook. That's anywhere. No matter what social media platform you're in, and God forbid you have somebody in real life like that that you actually know personally. If somebody is having a serious conversation about this team improving and they bring up a screenshot from the trade machine, shut them the fuck up. Get them the fuck out of there. It's time for them to go. That's it. It's time for them to go. Just let them have it. Let them have it. Because them motherfuckers are so wrapped up in bullshit, they ain't gonna know up from down if you explain shit to them. Let the shit go. Let it go. You worried about Patrick Williams in terms of this team's window? I love the guy's game. Again, let me finish reading. But I just hate that he got injured this year. Well, again, the Bulls window is further than people think. People have this thing of the Bulls window being just 3 years. Keep in mind, Zach LaVine signing for long term. Lonzo, still very young. Patrick Williams, still very young. Marco, young, and they have some. They think that they have some potential in them. Io, very young. Caruso, not too old either. So this team's window with DeMar, I think, is 3 years. But this Bulls team's window, and this is why it's important to have players that develop, as some players may regress or eventually work their way out of your team, because that extends your window. The Bulls window is very wide. So yeah, Patrick Williams absolutely fits that window. What running back would be your comp from when you play? Ooh, shit. Because I was quick and strong. I would say a faster, smaller version of Jerome Bettis was my style, because I was strong, and the combination of strength and speed made me put people on their ass even as a running back. That's just an easy comp to make. Or maybe a slower Deuce McAllister. Maybe that would be a better one. Chicago Bulls Central is from Mike. You're the man. I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Do I think we should? No, I don't think we should trade for Robert Covington. I don't really think the Bulls should trade for anyone per se. Bull needs two types of power forwards or just one. Robert Covington, I know I spelled that wrong, or athletic rebounding type. No, the Bulls need somebody who can rebound, block shots, and hit open shots when they get it. Whoever you think fits that, that's what they need. They don't need a star. They don't need anyone who needs any type of offense called for them necessarily, but someone who can hit open shots when they're called upon. The 2020 All-Star game is in Cleveland. Listen, fuck that game. Fuck the city. Fuck the NBA for having an All-Star game and a bullshit. If anyone is traveling to Cleveland, if any of you travel to Cleveland for the All-Star game, I will come to see you guys. But I'm going to hate every minute I'm in that motherfucking city. Every minute that's in that fucking city. I agree that the window is larger than people say, but I'm just curious, as Patrick Williams in particular, in terms of his skills on this team specifically, thinking, I mean, right now it's hard to define Patrick Williams' skill. He's 20 years old. So what his skill set is right now may be vastly different. I think what his skill set is right now is needed. someone who doesn't need offense call for them, someone who can defend very well, who hopefully is going to be a good rebounder and just an active person. Patrick Williams being all over the court is going to be key for this team and with the way that the team's currently constructed. Absolutely think he feels it. And then you let his offense come around a little bit more slowly. Even if you look, the game he got injured in, that was probably his most aggressive game. So we'll see. We'll see. Why hasn't an All-Star game been in DC lately? It's such a nice DC is my favorite city in America. And I don't know. You would think that would be a perfect place to have more events and things at. What type of player do you think that would be? Um, I mean, again, you said it. He's an athletic rebounding power forward. I mean, are you saying give you names? I don't really do names. I don't do that. I don't really do names because even there's some names that don't fit that description that could be very good on this team as well. I don't really do names. So that's just not me. Nick the Bulls fan. Rocco can defend and usually hit his shots, even though he hasn't as good this year. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he'd be bad, right? If he's what the Bulls get via buyout, again, it's all via buyout for me. Buyout for me. I can tell you put a ton of time and effort into your channel, and that's what I appreciate. I enjoy your content a lot. I appreciate that, Mike. It's honestly, listen, and I say this all the time. The reason why this channel is so easy, keep in mind, for anyone who's been around since I started, I literally said I will not be posting daily Bulls content. I said that. I looked directly in the camera and said, don't expect that from me. It's not happening. There's no way in hell. I don't have the time. But looking at my post schedule, I usually post 4 to 5 times a week. Still not daily, but I usually post 4 to 5. Out of 7 days, you get 4 to 5 videos from me a week. That's nothing but passion, man. That's all this is. That's all it is. People needs to be more aggressive, and he just really is highly drafted. Listen, no, he doesn't need to. There's no reason Patrick Williams need to be more aggressive on this team. What we're missing on this team is not offense, and he is aggressive defensively. He started off more timid this year because of the injury, but you can't look at Patrick Williams' career and what he did last year and say he's not aggressive. The Bulls don't need offense from Patrick Williams right now. Now, what he did do more in that last game before he got hurt is he showed more confidence in hitting a shot when he had it open than trying to pass around, and that would have built up over the course of the season once he understood his role and what this team needed him to do. But Patrick Williams' aggressiveness is fine. At a 20-year-old, again, a 20-year-old, at a 19-year-old at that time, to get as much respect from veterans on how he guarded them, you don't give up on that. You don't give up on that. If I could create a player, I would want a mixture of Boris Diaw, Ray Allen, and Sean Merritt. What? What are we talking about, Shay? I don't know. How long do you think it will take for the Bulls to get back on track after everyone comes back from protocol? Where do you think we'll finish? I think we'll finish third or fourth. I don't really think that it'll take a lot of time because it's not injury. It's all about conditioning. Even if they need to get their cardio in order, I don't think it's going to take the Bulls a big amount of time. And okay, Mike is finna get kicked out. You motherfucker. There people that know they don't tell me that because you see that I don't have big ass gums and little ass teeth. Just because I'm black, light skinned, and I have facial hair, bro, we don't all look alike. Mike, why the fuck would you come in my channel and say that to me? Do you not know me? You just said you watch my videos. I hate Gums McGee. I'm throwing some fun at you, so please don't take offense at it, Mike. I'm just throwing some fun at you. But how dare you come in the house that Haize built and say, does anybody say I look like Denzel motherfucking Valentine? Bro, we don't all look alike. We don't all look alike. We don't all look alike, man. You gotta come up off that. You owe me a big ass apology. You owe me a big ass apology. Now we have to fight. Now I'll buy you a drink afterwards and we'll still be brothers, but we have to fight at this point. I may have to stab you. I may have to stab you now. That may be what has to happen. Would you trade Patrick Williams and Kobe? Nope, I wouldn't. Nope, not at all. Jeremy Grant doesn't really solve a lot for us. On paper, it may look like it, but no. Respect. Okay, question. I know you say you don't do names, but humor your boy. Who do you think realistically power forward we can? I mean, we've talked about this already. CVP film. I think Derek Favors could be a buyout candidate. I think Tristan Thompson, Robert Covington. I think it could be a realistic candidate as well. But yeah, that's just throwing some out there. Yeah. Y'all get Mike's ass up out of here, man. You get Mike's ass up out of here. He got to go take a nap. You're officially in timeout, my brother. I still love you. I still love you, but I may have to, poke. You may have to get stabbed a little bit. I got my beard pick right here. I may have to clamp on you real quick, bro. Just off GP, man. They ain't gonna allow me to come back in the city if I allowed you to say that to me and I don't stab you a little bit, man. You got to bleed a little bit, a little shank, something. You just got to go in there real quick. I apologize. I love you, but I gotta stab you, bro. I love Dorian D. Smith from Dallas to replace. I know he's a name that a lot of people have talked about. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Bro, go to bed already. I hope you're talking to Mike at that point. I'm just like he tried to clap on you. Man, listen, he really tried that shit in here, right? He really tried that shit in here, knowing that everybody knows how much I hate Denzel Valentine. All this Valentine slander is accepted. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's crazy. We don't all look alike. We don't all look alike, man. Come on, bro. He got to meet Betty Roosevelt. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, Mike got a point. Now, let me get kicked out. All right, CBP film. You next. T'Challa, I'm going to claw your ass, bro. Keep playing with me. Haze look like my mama. Does your mama have a beard, JDH? I mean, I know there's some bearded women out there, especially like when they get past 40 and those hormones start getting out of control and they grow that church lady mustache. I'm just saying. Who's the one team you do not want to see in the first round of the playoffs? I don't really care about anybody we meet in the first round of the playoffs because I think the Bulls are going to be seated so high that I'm not worried about that. I mean, if it is Cleveland or somebody like that, it could get pretty interesting, but I still trust the Bulls to pull it out. The biggest team I'm worried about in the playoffs is Philly. I'm really worried about Philly right now. It makes a lot of sense that Denzel is in Cleveland right now. Exactly. It absolutely does. Oh, super chat. Thank you, Gary. Thank you for the super chat. Well, P will start. No, I don't think he starts. I don't think he does, but Billy Donovan may just say fucking and throw him out there. I don't think he starts though. Oh, I just started watching. My bad. Oh, you're good, bro. You're good, bro. Bro, did Mike leave? No, Mike, that motherfucker's still in here. Listen, Mike, first of all, you look like a mix between Tom Holland and a young Justin Timberlake in your fucking Avi. And then you got the nerve to come over. Listen, that was racist. And I don't accept it. I don't receive it. I don't like you, and I have to stab you. That's what has to happen. I have to stab you when I see you, Mike. I have to. So if we ever have a meetup for this channel and you just come in like this because I'm just gonna stab you for a little bit. I'm gonna make sure you get to the doctor. I'm gonna make sure I don't hit no organs, but I gotta stab you now, bro. I have to. I have to do it, man. I have to do it. Put some respect on Denzel, the Summer League. Man, fuck Denzel Valentine, bro. Fuck that nigga. Shit. I tried my best not to say that word on these streams. I apologize. I give up. Oh man, what's next? He looks like Felicia. Listen, oh man, that's even worse. Will the whole roster be available for Sunday, especially Patrick Williams, because they said he's out for the season in 40? What are you talking about? They never have said that Patrick Williams was only out 4 to 6 weeks. That 4 to 6 weeks was at the beginning of the season. That was a different injury. He's always been out for the rest of the regular season. They said March at the earliest. He's definitely not going to be ready by Sunday. Definitely not going to be ready by Sunday. We got Spider-Man in the chat, y'all. People don't talk about this a lot, but last season, the last game we played against Brooklyn Nets, Patrick did a good job on Kevin Durant, but no one talks about it. I don't. Well, just because Patrick Williams did a good job all year round, all year round. Listen, let's go. Where's Mike's comment? And that tell me that don't look like Tom Holland and Justin Timberlake had a love child. I gotta fuck with you now, bro. Like the rest of the stream, I'm fucking with you. Next stream, I'll forget about it. But the rest of the stream, I gotta fuck with you. I got to, man. I got to. Hey, bro, what your wife and kids doing right now? They stabbing folks. Oh man. black bearded men did Denzel Valentine. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some motherfucking shit, bro? Come on, man. Favorite movie. So my favorite movie of all time is gonna be a weird pick. It's Imitation of Life. And I think because that movie just really speaks to me as somebody who my dad's white. And so like dealing with that, like it seeing it the way that movie pictured it and seeing that just story for anyone who knows the story of Imitation of Life, it's such a powerful story, man. It's just such a powerful movie. My mom, so I used to have long hair and braids. Like I had braids, and so me and my mom used to always watch that in the Medea plays when she would braid my hair. So that movie just holds a special place in my heart. Outside of that, um, hmm, outside of that, I would have probably have to say Goodfellas. Probably have to say Goodfellas. Well, can the Bulls bounce back and show everyone the most improved team in the NBA? Oh yeah, for sure. That's not a question. We're definitely this is not even a bounce back. We'll be fine. Dude been watching the Inside the Bulls channel with that uninformed question about P. Will. Listen, y'all so funny, man. This Inside the bullshit is never going to leave at this point now, man. And then I guess I played into it too when I posted. Anyone who saw like all of my last video and how I used this logo, I wanted to do more, but I was like, let me not embarrass him. Let me not embarrass him. Dun, 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 dun. Petty Roosevelt. I like the way you spelled that. I like the way you spelled that. I don't know if that was intentional or not. But yeah. Imitation of Life is an amazing pick. Never heard anyone listen. I'm a film dude. Keep in mind, I'm a filmmaker. So there's some of the movies that I'll pull out are definitely out of left field for some people, but Imitation of Life is such a powerful movie. I would say honestly, as a director, if I can remake any movie for a modern tale, I would do Imitation of Life. Absolutely, I would do Imitation of Life. Ricky Fontaine is in the building. I haven't even got to this comment, but shout out to my brother Ricky Fontaine. What happened with Inside the Oh, I'll let them tell you in the chat. I'm not gonna dedicate a lot of time to go in there. But yeah, it's some. I mean, go and look. So I posted a 13-second video. Go and look at that. Go and look at that. My bad. I was watching the charges. No worries, Ricky. Cap. I had to look up. There's two versions of Imitation of Life. One of them I think was made in 50. Shit, don't get me the line. One was made in the 50s, and the other one I think was made in the late 60s. Both of them are great. I prefer the one in the 60s, I believe. I believe it's the 60s. I think that's the one that I prefer. Whichever one was the second version of it, I prefer, but both are really powerful. I mean, it's the same story, it's just there's little slight changes. What happened to Javonte Green offense? Because I remember back in Boston, he was known as a scorer and a defender, but now he just makes hustle plays. I think he wasn't an effective scorer. And especially looking at this team, he plays the role that he needs. So at the end of Javonte Green is just a basketball player, right? Yes, he's a defender, he's an energy guy. You can say that. But at the end of the day, I really think Javonte Green is going to do and can play to a certain degree of success any role you need him to play on. And that's why I really like him on this team. I really like Javonte Green on this team. Javonte Green will be one of those players where, for let's say for some reason in the offseason, they move on from Javonte Green and they could upgrade, right? They could upgrade, bring in somebody different in that role, and they could do better. But I'll always miss Javonte Green because of just how special he is. He's not a player that I'd be surprised if they move on from, but he's definitely one that his energy and everything would be missed. Javonte Green, and Javonte Green looks like the younger uncle in the family that just sits on the porch and smokes Black and Milds all day. That's how he looks, but he plays with a lot of energy. Let me support the chat. Wish to talk Bulls with you one day, but what are some of your wild predictions for the Bulls this season? Thank you first off, thank you for the super chat, CBP film. My prediction for the Bulls this year is that DeMar DeRozan finishes in top 5 in MVP voting. The Bulls finish second in the East. That Zach LaVine makes second All NBA team, and that's it. That's as far as I'm willing to go so far. Favorite comedy. Favorite comedy. The first Hangover. Because listen, to this day, so when I saw the Hangover, when I saw the previews to the Hangover, I was like, that looks like it's gonna be shit. I had no plans on watching the Hangover. I was bored one day. I think I got like off work early or something. I was just off during a random weekday, and while my kids were in school, I was like, let me go watch let me go to this movie theater and watch the Hangover. When that naked Asian man hopped out of that trunk, it solidified that I have never been so caught off guard, and I've never laughed so hard in a movie ever in my life. Like literally, him popping out of that trunk unexpectedly, naked and beating their ass was literally one of the funniest moments in film I have ever seen in my life. Because there's nothing leading up to that. You would think that a naked Asian would be coming out of this trunk. There's nothing that says that. That shit was fucking hilarious, man. That shit was hilarious, man. Haize got a punching bag. I think you mean bag with Chicago Bulls Central logo on it, and he got custom made dartboard with the guy. I wish, like, I don't know what his actual face looks like, but I guarantee you, you know what? Mike is inside the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, Mike is inside the Chicago Bulls. That's why he's in here talking shit. I guarantee you that's his side page. I guarantee you. The OG came out in 34, and the remake came out in 59. Okay, that's what it is. So the 59 version is the one I like the most. I'm so slow. I thought this was Bull Central and almost hit you up to get on this channel live. You crazy, bro. You crazy. I wish Javonte Green was 6'8", 6'9". Hey, then we wouldn't need a power forward. We wouldn't need that. We wouldn't need that. I said Javonte looks like he smokes blacks and drinks Coke 40. Absolutely, bro. Like you can't say, if Javonte Green did not play back, if he was not a professional athlete, all he'd be doing is smoking black and milds, telling the young kids in the neighborhood, "Hey, tell your mama I said I was looking for her," and drinking malt liquor. Like for sure, you just know that he would do that. You just know he would do that. Guys like JV and AC are what makes it seem special, not these ridiculous blockbuster signings that will never happen. Agree. Yo, you got to stop with these spot on points. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Most underrated comedy for me is I Spy with Eddie. Listen, that's a good one too. That is a really good one. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is still an all-time great for me as well. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, even though I don't know if we categorize that as a comedy. That's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, The Bulls, Naked Asian. Man, I still don't remember his name. That shit was the funniest shit in the like to this day when I watch this movie, and I know it's coming. I crack up. I think because I think back to the moment when I first saw it, I crack the fuck up every time that comes on. Haze is the Black Tarantino or even Spike Lee. Haze, do you like He Got? I loved He Got Game. Loved He Got Game for sure. Shade Life, he was at least 6. Yep, for sure. Mike, all right, man, you called me. I'm inside the Chicago. I'm glad that you're taking my sense of humor in stride, Mike. Like, really, I do, because like I was on somebody else's channel. I made a joke. They took it wrong. So I'm glad you guys appreciate my sense of humor for sure. Mike, I love you, man, for real. I'm because you sitting here and taking it. I really do appreciate you. He did 2 episodes with his face in it. I seen it. He looks like Austin Power. Send me the link to those, bro, because I may have to use those for some content later. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Leave it at that. Inside Chicago Bulls is a white guy with glasses. Might think he's slick taking them shades. Oh man. One of the Jump Street films are probably my favorite comedies. Yeah, for sure. Office Space, classic. Half Baked, classic. For sure, for sure. Now we can talk about the best stoner movies ever. Oh, best shooter in Bulls history. I mean, Kyle Korver was on this team. Now he didn't break records while he was on here, but I mean, I think when it's all said and done, it's gonna be Zach LaVine for sure. Alien and Aliens, I love. Everything after Aliens is hit or miss, for sure, for sure. Do you think Billy Donovan should be our coach for the future, or is he our Doug Collins until Phil type comes along? Ooh, that is a nice question. I think he could be a coach of the future. I definitely think Billy Donovan could be a coach that you have here for 8 years. I definitely think that. I think that Billy Donovan can do that, especially when you look at we still have young players to develop. But I can see a world in which he's here for 3 years. After his contract goes away, somebody else comes along. I really do. Kendrick. No, I know the actor's name. I don't remember the character's name. I know the actor's name, Carson. I just don't remember. And it's funny because Ken Jeong was a dentist or like a doctor or something before he got into acting, which is crazy. I think his wife still has their practice. It's crazy. Craig, oh, that's it for sure. That's it for sure. That's definitely it. That's definitely it. Imagine that talking films on Chicago Bullshit. I love how these streams can have interesting convos about anything. Hey, I'm a podcaster at heart. That's the end of the day. And like the and I talked about this when I was on Flight Sports TV. The style that when I decided that I was going to do these live streams because you guys asked for it, I did a 3-city live show tour from our other podcast. I did DC, we did New York, and we did Atlanta. And in that, I realized the back and forth flow you can have with the live audience rather than when you're podcasting is just you like delivering content. But I realized that back and forth flow. And so when I decided to start doing these live streams, that's the energy I wanted to bring as if it was one of the live shows that I did for my other podcast. So that's why you see me like after games, I have like 2 topics in mind to start the stream off with. And then once I go to the comments, it really becomes a back and forth conversation with all of us. So yeah. Biggest pet peeve, motherfuckers who say Pacific when they mean to say specific. That shit drives me crazy. I will stop a whole motherfucking conversation. I will stop somebody dead in they fucking tracks. If we're talking here like Pacifically, bitch, we not in the motherfucking ocean. We not in the ocean. You mean specific? Say it with me. Say it with me. Enunciate. Specific. Specific. Pacific. If a motherfucker says Pacific to me in a conversation, I stop everything. And I will smack the holy shit out of them. Ferris Bueller is in my top 10. It's a theory that Ferris isn't real and he's actually can't. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. There's a lot of theories with those movies, for sure. A lot of theories with those movies. Has anybody seen Mr. One Man's Trash, Chandler Hutchinson? I think Chandler Hutchinson found out that he's every man's trash. And I think that's what it is. Chandler Hutchinson, best hairline in sports next to Jalen Rose. That motherfucker couldn't play lick of fucking basketball, though, at all. Listen here, Smear 60. You're gonna get Mike back in trouble. You're gonna get Mike back in trouble, bro. Reminds me of that lyric from that Hispanic dude when he said right next to the Pacific to be specific. What else we got, man? Go back to this one. Carson say, okay, gotcha. It was Mr. Chow. All right, that's what it is. Yeah, I couldn't remember his character's name. Man, listen, every fucking day, bro. Every day. Every day. And it like it's the shit stresses me. And then I lived in St. Louis for a long time. And I don't know if this happens anywhere else, but a lot of people in St. Louis, they refer to a sink as a zinc. So when I first moved to St. Louis, I was 16. And when people were saying this, I was like, you have a periodic table in your home? A periodic chart, whatever it's called? The shit drives me crazy. Like the English language is not really that hard. It's really not that hard. I don't understand it. That's part of the reason why I don't like G Herbo as a rapper because he raps like it's his first time speaking English every time. Every time Herbo raps, it's literally like it's his first time speaking English. And it's terrible. It's fucking terrible. Terrible. Hawkeye, yes. First 2 episodes, marginal. Third episode, great. Fourth episode, okay. This fifth episode, fucking bananas. Season finales next week. Definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. What do you think about the Lakers signing Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract? I mean, I think it could be really big for them. We'll see, though. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Rumor Sabonis is being traded. Where do you think he'll end up? I don't know. I don't do the trade thing, especially with other teams. I really don't I give a fuck about the NBA. Like NBA basketball is my favorite sport to watch, and I care about other teams, but like Dylan's and all that, I don't get into that. Mike, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. You bastard. You Tom Holland lookalike motherfucker. I can't. Now you got to get stabbed twice. Now you got to get stabbed twice. That's all it is. I have to stab you twice now. Poke, poke, motherfucker. You got to get stabbed. You're done. It's over with. Spider-Man, dead. It's done. You got to go. You got to go. Do we actually count Jalen Rose's hairline? That can't be natural. Hey, I don't know. G Herbo, man, I'm telling you, he's terrible. Terrible. No, I was capping. But no, I know it is. It actually is really hard to learn. Get off Herbo, man. He getting better. Listen, he's the hooked on phonics rapper. Like G Herbo taps out when he's writing his bars. He sounds out every syllable to make sure he's doing the correct bar scheme because like he can't. He's terrible. He's terrible. We gotta win. So we gotta win every day, every fucking day, every day. Might look like white buddy Shelby. Listen, y'all better lay off. I can joke on Mike. I can get on Mike. Me and Mike are really having a thing right now. Y'all leave that man alone. Leave Tom Holland alone, man. He's trying to be incognito. Like, besides Cleveland, what's another place you visited that was trash? I really don't go to trash cities a lot. I had to go to Cleveland for work, or I would have never gone to Cleveland either. Let me see. Let me see where else. I've been to a lot of places. I travel a lot. Um, Dallas is one of my favorite cities. Oh, you said worse. I'm trying to think. What was it? I wasn't that impressed. Like Vegas is beautiful, but maybe it's because I don't gamble, but I didn't really care for Vegas that much. It was cool to go. It was cool to say that I've been, but Vegas would never be on one of my top places to go again, ever, ever. Damn, it's after midnight. I respect LeBron. What he's been able to accomplish as a basketball player, you can't take away from. You just can't take away from that. Um, and what he does outside of basketball is very important. His activism is great. I don't really care for him as a player, but I respect what he's been able to accomplish. Ooh, this is a good question. Is Draymond Green Hall of Fame worthy? No, no, I don't think he is at all. I don't think he is at all, man. Not in my opinion. I don't see it for him. I don't see it for him. As a listen, I love old school rap. That's always going to be the golden era. And there are some rappers nowadays that you can absolutely say are great rappers in of themselves. Nana released what was it? Save Yourself, I think was the name of the album, and that's an amazing album. Um there are a lot of rappers nowadays that I like. Like, for example, this is one of the fun facts. Lil Uzi Vert is always on my workout playlist. Like always. Like I just something about Lil Uzi Vert's music that when I'm jogging or something, that's the shit that I want to listen to. I don't hate the new class. It's just they don't the technical skill isn't there. And I feel like everybody tries to chase now the singles and the songs that are gonna get be on TikTok and be used for stuff like that. And the artistry sometimes is missing. So who's better to you, not Jay-Z or Nas? Rapper? Nas for sure. Nas is Jay-Z's favorite rapper. As a rapper, pure writing bars, Nas is better than Jay-Z. Jay-Z's great as well, but just a rapper's rapper, emceeing, I gotta give it to Nas. Gotta give it to Nas. Listen, it's funny because on my hip hop podcast, which the episode releases tomorrow, I said why people do not recognize Big Crit. Big Crit should be mentioned. It should be Kendrick. It should be J. Cole. People like some people mention Big Sean. Big Crit. Go back and I recently went back and listened to all of Crit's music from the beginnings to his newest shit. Big Crit is such a smart technical rapper that Big Crit is amazing. He's an amazing rapper. I often talk about rappers that should have been in different generations. If Big Crit came out in the early to mid 90s, he wouldn't have the mainstream success, but he would be known and respected way higher than what he is right now. Big Crit would be on like a level of a Scarface if he came out back then. Big Crit is an amazing rapper, an amazing artist, and people used to think he's not lyrical. Big Crit is absolutely a lyrical beast. He's amazing. He's amazing. The hip hop podcast is called The Breaks Radio. Hold on, I'll put it in here. New episode actually drops tonight. I need to edit it before I go to bed tonight. So, yeah. King's Disease 1 and 2 are literally King's Disease 1 was to prove some shit. King's Disease 2 was for Nas, and they literally I ordered them both on vinyl. That's my Christmas present to myself. Those albums are fucking masterpieces. Man, what Hit Boy and Nas have going on is like there's always this, not always, but there are these special times where artists and producers hit this synergy that if as long as they can write it out, it'll be amazing. And what they have going on right now is fucking bananas. It's bananas. Mount Olympus, listen, that was the best response to Control. That was absolutely the best response to Control, even though it wasn't necessarily a response to Control. But Mount Olympus is a fucking monster track, man. Monster track. The Breaks Media. So the Breaks Media that you guys hear at the end of my podcast, that's my media company. I work with other podcasts. They're not all my shows, but I have my solo show, which is The Awakened Soul, which I talk about everything Black culture, mental health, self help, activism. That's all on that podcast. That's The Awakened Soul. Then it's The Breaks Radio, which is the hip hop culture podcast. We talk about movies and hip hop and music there very heavily. And then I also have the Film Frequency, which is my film podcast. That's on hiatus right now because my co-host there had to take a break. And then you have this one, but we also have Technical Foul, which is a great for anyone who just loves sports podcasts. Check out Technical Foul podcast. That's a member of the Breaks Media. They work with me very heavily. Pretty lit convos. One mic in history is another one that we work with. There's a lot of great podcasts on the Breaks Radio. So best diss track of all time. Nope. It's actually Exodus. 2-3, wait, 1-2-2-3-1. I can't remember what the numbers are after it. But the fact that Exodus from Pusha T gets better the more you listen to it because everything he predicted ended up becoming true. Every single thing he did on that and he said on that track, even if it wasn't true at that time, became true. He completely dismantled Lil Wayne's complete persona, everything on that track. Story of Adidon is a really good like part 2 to that because it's in that same vein because he completely dismantled Drake as well. But Exodus 231, I think is what it is my favorite diss track of all time. I'm not saying it's the best diss track of all time. That's my favorite diss track of all time. No Vaseline is fucking bananas. Like, yes, all those are great. That's why I said my favorite. Because best either goes to we actually on the hip hop podcast we did a March Madness style bracket for diss tracks. I can't remember. Ether won that one. But that was us, the panel voting on it. But Ether, No Vaseline are definitely two of the top ones up there, for sure. Takeover has to be up there as well. Yeah. No. Again, you gotta keep yourself on the history of them. Pusha T's beef was never because he was jealous of Drake. Drake and Pusha T literally exchanged subliminals over a decade, and it was based off the fact that Pusha T completely dismantled Lil Wayne. It was Drake basically trying to take up for his mentor, and he would throw little jabs and disses. They would do it back and forth at each other for a while. Now, what Pusha T did that was so subliminally great is that with infrared wasn't a diss track, but it was lines thrown in there. It was basically like a jab to say, okay, if Drake responds to this, I'm eating him alive. Drake came with that what was Duppy freestyle that was cool, and then people were like, oh, it's over, it's over. Pusha T took like 2 weeks, released his diss track. It was not about jealousy. It was really that this stemmed from the way that Pusha T dismantled Lil Wayne in such a like Lil Wayne's response to Exodus, people didn't even give a fuck about. So yeah, no, it had nothing to do with jealousy. Nothing to do with jealousy. My favorite diss is Blood on the Wall. Is that the Drake diss? Listen, people don't talk about it a lot. People don't talk about it a lot, but Joe Budden probably has some of the best diss tracks against Drake. People just wasn't checking for Joe Budden. And that's why it's so crazy now that people love Joe Budden so much that don't even know any of his rap history. Joe Budden had some vicious diss tracks. Pusha made Drake start being a good father. He won off that alone. Listen, he won off the fact that it was that when you look at like the fact that, oh, it's against Prodigy. When you look at the fact that rather than respond to Pusha T, they basically just had a press release and J. Cole not J. Cole, Jay Prince had to save his bottom bitch. When you look at the way that happened, that is completely like it's goaded already because of it. Jay Prince doesn't say a lot. He's supposed to be the hip hop boogeyman. The fact that he came out to try to save face for Drake in a case like that, and then even then, Drake was more his response was more focused towards Kanye West, even when he talked about, and Drake backtracked so much because first it was I recorded the diss track, and then Jay Prince, it'll never be released because Jay Prince said I shouldn't release that because it's bad for Kanye, and then it was Drake said, oh, I never actually responded to it. And then it got to the point to where Drake was on the shot with LeBron James looking like a bitch where he's like, LeBron's like, oh, you remember what I told you? And Drake's like, oh, yeah, I remember what you told me. You remember? Yeah. Like, come on, man. That shit's over with. That shit's over with. The story of OJ beat is hard as fuck. Pusha did a great beat to drop. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For some reason, I feel like Inside the Chicago Bulls and DJ Academics are in the same boat for you. Listen, I don't even acknowledge DJ Academics at all. At all. Ooh, rap Mount Rushmore. This is always a difficult one. Fuck. Nas, Big. I hate being put on because I like to put a lot of thought into this type of stuff because I know I'm missing somebody. Not Rakim. Raekwon's going on there for me because I love Ray. I don't know. You guys gotta let me. I need some time to really sit back and think about this. Really sit back and think about this. I love J. Cole's albums. I love J. Cole album. I love J. Cole's most recent album. I love the last few albums that he puts out. I think the thing that J. Cole falls into is I really want to see a J. Cole album not produced by J. Cole. And I don't think his last album was mainly produced by himself. I think that's probably the one he worked with more. I think. Let me look to verify this real quick. Yeah, so he worked with Boy Wonder, Timbaland on that one, Jake One, Tate Beast. He worked with a lot of other producers on there, but I really do think J. Cole needs to. I think what the trap J. Cole falls into is because he's the producer and the rapper that he gets trapped into a certain sound. That's why I want to see him work with different producers. But J. Cole is fucking amazing. Oh, Andre 3000 is absolutely on any Mount Rushmore that I have. Absolutely, absolutely. No, I gotta disagree with that. Eminem is definitely a GOAT. He's one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely. I have actually on the set that I record Chicago Bulls Central, and if you guys look up, you can barely see him on the way that I frame the video. But there's two canvas paintings. One is of Eminem, one is of Kendrick Lamar, my two favorite rappers. Eminem is absolutely a GOAT. Now, some of his music wouldn't play nowadays, but again, I'm not just going off Eminem and just his mainstream music as well. Eminem's technicality as a rapper, as an MC, when you look at the bar schemes that he put together, yes, he did eventually fall into just throwing a bunch of syllables in, and I understand that critique of him, but Eminem is absolutely one of the most intelligent rappers ever. Even when people talk about Killshot not being as good as MGK's disc, they're just he rapped it in a lazy style, but when you go back and if you read the lyrics and what he said and breaks them down, he is such an intelligent rapper. Such an intelligent rapper. Now, if we're talking about groups, right? Absolutely, Tribe Called Quest is on there. And so much of what they did um really is still felt throughout music. A Tribe Called Quest is one of the best groups of all time, easily, 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 easily. Come on, man. Oh, they absolutely are. Kendrick hasn't dropped a bad album at all. All of Kendrick albums are damn near classics, even going back to Section 80. Like Kendrick is, and it's such an evolution to see, like, each one of his albums feel like a motion picture because you're in his mind at that time, and the way that even the way that Kendrick picks his track listing is so powerful in the way that the music is delivered. For sure, for sure, for sure. It's amazing how we've now on the back end of this we've been having you just listen to Pimp a Butterfly this for the first time. Pimp a Butterfly is amazing album. Amazing album. My go-to rap album, Liquid Swords by Jizza. That Liquid Swords is one of the best rap albums of all time, and people don't really talk about it. Liquid Swords may be the best solo Wu Tang release of all time. It's an amazing album. But the Purple Tape as well. Let's not forget about that. I'm a big Wu Tang guy. Big Wu Tang guy. Favorite Ye album is Graduation. No, Late Registration. And again, I'm making it. There's a distinction from the best to my favorite. I'm somebody who can separate those two. My favorite is Late Registration because of where I was in my life. Um, Kanye West's first three albums all dropped at where I was almost at the same place he was at that time. Late Registration dropped when I had to be 19. And that album to me sonically is such a perfect album. Such a perfect album. You you got to watch it, bro. You literally have to watch it to experience it. Listen, Unentitled Unmastered is literally better than probably 60% of the rap albums that dropped that same year. Probably. Twister, let's go to a Midwest legend. Twister is absolutely a legend as well. Absolutely. All right, that's it. We have jumped the shark so much on here. I appreciate the hip hop talk. I could talk hip hop all day. Hip hop, films, basketball, sports in general. I could talk about all day, all fucking day. And let's not forget. Listen, but since we're talking about rap, I'm not gonna. I can't realistically go without saying this. Let's give Cool G Rap his flowers. So many people in the 90s to early 2000s era of hip hop, so much of the style, so much was taken from Cool G Rap, and people don't really even realize that it was done. Cool G Rap is also a legend. Now, I'm not saying he belongs on Mount Rushmore or anything like that, but Cool G Rap really set down a foundation for so many rappers that came before him, and they took so much from his style. Cool G, it's funny because a lot of people now will only know Cool G Rap because he gave the world Carney Stevens, who's Superhead, but Cool G Rap is literally the blueprint for so many people, and we need to acknowledge what he means to hip hop culture. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. This is why you my brother, Ricky. This is why you my brother. Oh, of course I know about JID. Of course, for me, JID at first, when I just heard him, it was like, who's this dude trying to sound like Kendrick? But then when I actually engulf myself in his music, it's so different. But like he's dope as well. He's dope as well. He's dope as well. All right, I'm out tonight. I love you guys, man. Like I said, I got to edit a podcast and get it up before I go to bed tonight, and it's already 12:30 a.m. So I thank you guys so much for staying on the stream, kicking it with me like you guys always do. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. And like I like to end every video on, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace.